Moreover, the murderous aura around Lin Rei soared to the sky. They believed that they would never forget this day for the rest of their lives. What should we do? The murderous aura is so dense, we can only wait here. We can't go out, and we can't go forward. Are we going to be trapped here? Seeing this scene, they were helpless. They also wanted to sit there and cultivate like Lin Rei, but they knew that they did not have the ability to do so. Hey, Lin Rei, your friends from before are here. Do you want to stop and take a look? At this moment, the little dragon reminded Lin Rei, who was cultivating. The moment they entered, the little dragon sensed them. Hearing Xiaolong's warning, Linli reluctantly stopped his training and opened his eyes, a look of reluctance on his face. Humph, so troublesome. Lin Rei, who was cultivating, was at a critical moment and was about to break through the level barrier. Suddenly, the little dragon's words made Lin Rei stop cultivating. This made Lin Rei unhappy. With a swoosh, Lin Rei stood up and looked at the four people smiling at the bronze door. Lin Rei regained his composure and walked towards them. You guys are here too. These words made them all feel a bit embarrassed, especially startling Dawn. He lowered his head in shame and embarrassment, not daring to look at Linli. May I ask if you are the senior who brought Startling Dawn and the others to break the Blood Spirit Sky Sealing Great Array? Startling Dawn and the others did not speak, but Zhu Chenxi impatiently stepped forward and bowed to Lin Rei, respectfully asking. You are? Lin Rei was a little uncomfortable with the sudden appearance of this little girl. But from her words, it seemed that she had come because of his formation. Well, yes, I don't like this fellow Taoist. Is there anything? Although they did not know each other, Lin Rei still knew the basic respect. As the saying goes, one does not hit a smiling face. Senior, where did you learn the name of this formation? Even my grandfather, the Formation Emperor, did not have all the information about this formation. You are. Humph, ignorant. So what if I'm the Formation Emperor? What's wrong with me knowing it? Lin Rei was already angry because of their interruption. He did not expect to be looked down upon by others. What, your grandfather is the Formation Emperor? Then I am the Formation Emperor. Brother Lin Rei, calm down. She just wants to study the formation. She doesn't have any bad intentions. Don't take it seriously. Feeling the anger in Lin Rei's voice, Startling Dawn quickly came out to smooth things over. Well, I don't care how you came here. But the thing that practitioners are most afraid of is being disturbed when they are practicing. What happened just now was the first time. Similarly, I don't want such a thing to happen again. Even if you are all experts in the realm of true immortality, you have to believe that I have 10,000 ways to kill you. With that, Lin Rei came to Wan Yunduo and squatted down. A strand of immortal spirit qi entered Wan Yunduo's body to sense her injury. Well, it's nothing serious. She just suffered a physical and mental setback. Previously, she was attacked by the fierce beast of Phantom, which caused her to lose too much blood. With that, a medicine bottle appeared in Lin Rei's hand. The moment he opened it, a medicinal fragrance filled their nerves. The previous pain was alleviated a lot at this moment. After taking out a red pill the size of a longan fruit and stuffing it into Wan Yunduo's body, Lin Rei did not have time to disturb them. Instead, he returned to the place where he practiced before and sat down cross-legged to practice. When Startling Dawn saw this, he felt helpless. However, there was more envy in his helplessness than helplessness. He could actually practice in such a dense evil blood qi. Alas! Let's wait. Sensing their expressions, Lin Rei did not say anything. Instead, he quietly practiced. However, what Startling Dawn did not know was that they had been tricked by Lin Rei. Chapter 340. After the first transition, 5 years had passed. Lin Li had been training non-stop in the Fiend God battlefield, tirelessly devouring the terrifying baleful aura of blood to increase his own strength. In these 5 years, Lin Li had been constantly gaining insights into his realm, improving his physical body, and improving his divine sense. Although his spiritual energy was somewhat refreshing, overall, his cultivation base and realm were still decent. After absorbing some residual spiritual sense, Lin Rei comprehended many realms from it. Yes, Lin Rei's cultivation had soared from a celestial immortal to the peak of the golden immortal realm. As for his cultivation base, it increased tremendously as well. When it came to the advancement of one's cultivation base, it was just a matter of time. Amidst the dense baleful blood energy, Lin Li's cultivation base rose from the celestial immortal realm to the Xian immortal realm. The same went for Lin Li's fleshly body. His fleshly body improved very quickly as well. With the addition of the pressure, Lin Li felt as though he was cultivating under 50 times the pressure. Time passed quietly in Lin Rei's tireless cultivation. Startling Dawn and the others, who had been watching Lin Rei and observing Lin Rei's cultivation, were even more surprised. Although they often cultivated in seclusion, it was impossible for them to cultivate in such an environment. As for Wan Yunduo, she woke up from her coma the day after Lin Rei fed her the elixir. Perhaps because she was too nervous and tired, she could have woken up at any time, but it took her such a long time. Startling Dawn and the others watched Lin Li cultivate and didn't disturb him. Instead, they carefully observed Lin Li's progress. As for them, they weren't idle either. In these 5 years, their Taoist arts, cultivation bases, and realms had all increased. Their understanding of the Tao had also deepened. However, the passage of time was always able to wear down a person's spirit. After staying here for a few years, their patience gradually disappeared. At first, they became impatient, and finally, irritable. However, because Lin Li had told them not to disturb his training, they could only keep it in their hearts and did not say it out loud. However, such a thing had gradually caused them to develop inner demons. Finally, after 5 years, it finally exploded. Jianfeng, what's wrong with you? You can't be defeated by your inner demons. You still have relatives, family, and friends. They're all waiting for you to come back. You can't let anything happen to you. His inner demon had appeared a long time ago. Originally, he thought that he could still hold on for a while, but he was wrong. While he was cultivating, his inner demon suddenly erupted. Ha, family? Friends? All of you can go to hell. Since he's such a coward, why don't I become him and use his body to roam the immortal realm and prove to him that he's the strongest? For some unknown reason, Jian Feng's inner demon was so strong that even Jian Feng himself could not suppress it. It directly burst out. With a devilish smile, he said to Wan Yunduo. You. In an instant, the moment they noticed that something was wrong with Jian Feng, everyone retreated and distanced themselves from him. Tendo is reincarnated. Evil creature, get out of my body. As someone who had gone through life and death with Jian Feng had long become his friend. Therefore, when he saw that Jian Feng had been eroded by his inner demon, he was furious because he would not allow his friend to be tarnished by something that lived in the dark. Oh, Tendo is reincarnated? Ha. At this moment, Jian Feng, who had been eroded by his inner demon, could not help but sneer at Startling Dawn's words. Tendo is reincarnated. But here, I'm Tendo. Jian Feng must listen to me. For so many years, in order to suppress me, he did not hesitate to shake his own foundation. Tell me, how can I let go of such an opportunity? The inner demon's words made everyone understand what was going on. It turned out that the inner demon did not appear suddenly, but had been suppressed by Jian Feng's cultivation and his own traces. However, over time, Jian Feng could not make ends meet, which led to the current situation. Hearing the inner demon's words, Startling Dawn and the others were filled with guilt. They had never noticed Jian Feng's abnormality. This was their incompetence as good friends. Humph, cut the crap. Let's fight. Today, even if I have to risk my primordial spirit, I'll destroy you from Jian Feng's body. As he spoke, Startling Dawn and the others moved. They quickly took out their magic weapons and began to rush toward Jian Feng, who had been eroded by the inner demon. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Startling Dawn was the first to move. His swordsmanship was incomparably sharp and fast. His body movement was even faster. In an instant, he came to Jian Feng's side. The hilt of his sword, which carried all the immortal spiritual qi of his cultivation, was pressed against Jian Feng's back. At this time, Wan Yunduo and Zhu Chenxi also moved at the same time as Startling Dawn. However, Zhu Chenxi used her hand to point at Jian Feng's chest, while Wan Yunduo used her long whip to press against Jian Feng's glabella. The three of them operated their cultivation methods at the same time in order to force the inner demon out of Jian Feng's body. Humph, you guys are really scheming. To think that you would use such a method to force me out. It's just that your calculations are wrong. Suddenly, a terrifying immortal spiritual qi burst out from Jian Feng's body. The huge amount of spiritual qi surprised Startling Dawn and the others, and they were directly sent flying. Bam! 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 The three of them flew out in a parabola and fell directly to the ground. Puff! The three of them each spat out a mouthful of blood, and their faces instantly turned pale. At this time, the three of them were terrified and looked in disbelief at Jian Feng, who had been eroded by the inner demon. How is this possible? How can he have such a powerful ability to cancel out our attacks at the same time and injure the three of us? No, it's impossible, he definitely. At this time, Wan Yunduo had just spoken half of her sentence when she stopped. She could not continue the second half of her sentence. Her eyes were fixed in front of her as Jian Feng walked toward her. Today, all of you will die here. As he spoke, Jian Feng arrived in front of her and a cold light pierced toward her. Sigh. It seems that I'm really going to die here. Looking at the injured people lying on the ground and unable to fight back, Wan Yunduo closed her eyes in despair and waited for death to come. The cold light was originally close to her and could kill her in the blink of an eye. However, after a long time, she still did not feel any pain. Therefore, Wan Yunduo opened her eyes and saw Lin Rei, who had been cultivating, standing in front of her. He held a red long sword in his hand and looked like a deity. His purple hair was unforgettable. Lin Rei's figure was completely imprinted in Wan Yunduo's heart and could not be erased. Chapter 341. Are you alright? At this moment, Lin Lei's flaming stream 10,000 spells sword had blocked Jian Feng's longsword. He turned his head to look at Wan Yunduo and asked in an indifferent tone. Yes. Well, thank you for saving me. Upon hearing Lin Rei's words, Wan Yunduo's heart began to beat wildly. Her face turned red instantly. She wanted to know the feeling of a red apple that made people want to take a bite out of it. When everyone saw Wan Yunduo's appearance, they were stunned and didn't know what to say. Well, you'd better get out of here quickly. Jian Feng's inner demon is very powerful. I'm afraid he'll hurt you. As he spoke, Lin Lei turned around. His face was solemn as he became serious. Previously, Lin Rei had been cultivating when he suddenly heard the little dragon's message saying that someone had turned into a demon and that the lives of the others were in danger. Hearing this, Lin Rei couldn't sit still. He had wanted to give them the cold shoulder and then give them some benefits. He wanted to take this opportunity to recruit them as disciples of the Xuanzong sect. He hadn't expected such a thing to happen. Lin Rei, don't think that you can do whatever you want just because you're awesome. Today, I'll let you die first. I'll let you know that you're not the only powerful one in this world. When Demon Heart saw Linley, he was momentarily stunned. Then, he came to his senses, and a savage look appeared on his face as he boasted wildly towards Linley. Oh? Is that so? Then let's see who will have the last laugh. Hearing Jian Feng's words, Linley's interest was piqued. 5 years of training had caused his bones to become rusty. Furthermore, he could take advantage of this opportunity to practice and solidify his cultivation base. Take this. Ha! At this moment, Lin Rei's eyes were full of fighting spirit. At this moment, he didn't just want to stop Jian Feng. He wanted to have a real fight with Jian Feng. Sky Devil Slash, first cleave the firmament. Immediately, Lin Rei used the Devil Race's Heavenly Devil Slash. Immediately, Devil Chi surged, and Lin Rei's sword was freely swung by Lin Rei. It was as if the sword and the sword had become one. Slash! As he spoke, an ink-black sword chi shot out from the fire stream 10,000 Law's sword and slashed towards the sword. How is this possible? Demonic chi and immortal chi can coexist? How is this possible? No, I must be seeing things. Yes, I was wrong. I'm afraid you didn't see wrongly. Perhaps Lin Rei's body can really allow devil chi and immortal chi to coexist. That's right. If that's the case, then it means that the immortal and devil chi coexist. Perhaps in the future, when it truly rises, it will be an existence that leads everything. At this moment, Jing Xiao, Zhu Chenxi, and Wan Yunduo, who were standing at the side, were in disbelief when they saw Lin Rei use devil chi. Everyone had their own opinions. They didn't expect Lin Rei to have a way to coexist immortal chi and devil chi. They didn't dare to believe it, nor did they want to believe it. However, all of this had become a reality. So what if it's devil chi? I'll still crush you like a dog and destroy your soul. Looking at the sword chi that was coming towards him, Jian Feng's face was solemn. He held a 3-foot-long cold sword in his hand. It was his family's sword art. Art of the great Tao of creation, the first slash of the towering heaven sword art. The sword chi that followed Lin Rei's words burst out and attacked Lin Rei's sword chi. Boom! The moment the two sword chis collided, a terrifying aftershock spread out in all directions. Fortunately, there were no cultivators with low cultivation levels here. Otherwise, the two of them would have been blown away by the aftershock. Oh, I didn't expect you to be so powerful. You're the first person I've seen to be able to reach the Xian immortal realm in 5 years. However, do you think you can defeat me with just this? At this moment, after the two sword chis had cancelled each other out, Jian Feng's inner demon said to Lin Rei in disdain. However, although Lin Rei looked fine on the surface, he was actually injured. It was just that he didn't lose the battle. Just you wait. This is just the beginning. Once he said it, there was nothing that Lin Rei couldn't do. With that, Lin Rei prepared to attack. However, just as he was about to attack, Lin Rei stopped in his tracks. Lin Rei, are you crazy? You didn't know that his cultivation level was lower than mine. Moreover, didn't you see his inner demon suppressing me? You think you can do it? Do you think you're his helper? The old voice echoed in Lin Rei's mind. Lin Rei wanted to refute, but the little dragon was right. He wasn't his opponent. Although you're not his opponent, you have the illusory spirit blood fire. The illusory spirit blood fire is specialized in restraining evil things. Inner demons belong to the category of evil. As long as you wrap Jian Feng with the illusory spirit blood fire, his inner demon will gradually be burned away by the blood fire. Nothing will be left. Whap! Hearing Xiaolong's words, Linley slapped himself on the forehead, muttering to himself, how could I have forgotten about it? Really? Obviously, Lin Rei knew what to do now. Thank you, little dragon. After saying that, Lin Rei's expression returned to normal. His face revealed a sense of confidence that he didn't have before. At this time, after hearing the little dragon's words, Lin Rei had enough confidence to subdue Jian Feng, who was born with an inner demon. Hee, could it be that this kid's personality has changed? Right now, Xiaolong's face was filled with delight as he thought about Linli's thank you. If he had known earlier, Linli wouldn't have said thank you to him often. How could he not be excited? Humph, Jian Feng, die. Isn't it just an inner demon? See if I don't burn you to ashes. Boom! After roaring angrily at the sword, a blood-red ball of flame appeared in Linli's hands. Suddenly, the surrounding flames began to rise in temperature. What's going on? Why do I feel like my soul is trembling? Yes, we all feel it too. The moment the illusory spirit blood fire appeared, the souls of Jing Xiao and the others began to tremble uncontrollably and rushed out of their bodies. At the same time, Jian Feng was also the same, not to mention Jian Feng who was born with an inner demon. How can you have such a thing? At this time, Jian Feng spoke with a trembling voice. His eyes were filled with fear, as if he was very scared. Die. He didn't waste any words. Right now, what Linli wanted to do was to end this battle as quickly as possible. He didn't want to drag this out any longer. With a boom, the illusory spirit blood fire seemed to have locked onto Jian Feng. No matter how many Jian Feng had, he couldn't escape the tracking of the illusory spirit blood fire in Lin Rei's hand. You will die a horrible death. A scream came from Jian Feng's mouth. At this time, the illusory spirit blood fire had surrounded Jian Feng and began to refine his inner demon. F***ck, this is too cool. If only I could have this kind of flame, that would be great. Chapter 342. A miserable howl came out of Jian Feng's mouth. It lasted for a long time. Jian Feng's cry caused the surrounding people to feel their hair stand on end and their hair to stand on end. Wan Yunduo couldn't bear to see Jian Feng in such pain. She walked to Lin Rei and asked, "Brother Lin Rei, look, this." Wan Yunduo didn't continue because she saw Lin Rei's murderous eyes. She didn't know what to say. Not only Wan Yunduo, but also Jing Xiao and Zhu Chenxi. They had never seen such a murderous look. How could they not be afraid? This went on for a long time. Finally, Jian Feng's cries of agony began to weaken. As soon as this happened, Linli began to carefully observe. He knew the power of the illusory spirit blood fire. The most important purpose this time was to eliminate Jian Feng's inner demon. He didn't want to burn Jian Feng to death. Oh. Thank you, Brother Lin Rei. If it weren't for you, I'm afraid I would have been devoured by the inner demon. The sudden voice made everyone overjoyed, because their good friend's consciousness had returned. Of course, Linli, in particular, was the happiest. Another item was gone, and he could openly recruit them. Why wouldn't he kill two birds with one stone? Oh, it's okay. It's good that you're fine. Wait for a while. I'll take back the blood fire. Then you can clean up the remaining inner demon. Lin Rei increased the intensity of the blood fire. In an instant, the blood fire burned faster and faster. Jian Feng's consciousness also became clearer. Finally, after 2 hours, Lin Rei could no longer feel the evil qi on Jian Feng. He quickly took back the blood fire to avoid accidentally hurting Jian Feng. It would be bad if that happened. Phew. Well, you can meditate and cultivate by yourself. Lin Rei said to Jian Feng as he instantly withdrew his blood flames. He then sat down cross-legged and began to recover. The people beside them just looked at them quietly, not saying a word. Time passed little by little. When the sword edge was cleaning up the remaining devil chi, it was inevitable that it would hurt a little. However, danger and opportunity coexisted. This was an indisputable fact. The moment his inner demon was destroyed, Xiaofan could feel that he was about to break through. He was overjoyed. Just as he was about to break through, Lin Rei's voice entered his ears. "Heh, if you want to break through, then break through. Don't blame me for not telling you. Your Taoist foundation is not stable at all. If you want to be possessed again, I won't stop you." That one sentence caused Xiaofan, who was excited because he was about to break through, to be startled. A terrifying expression appeared on his face. His eyes were filled with fear, and sweat flowed down his forehead. After learning that he had broken through the crisis, Xiaofan opened his eyes and stood up. He bowed to Lin Rei and thanked him. Thank you, brother Lin Rei. If it weren't for you, I fear today I would have. As for the conversation between Lin Rei and Xiaofan, the other three simply didn't know of it. Thus, they didn't say anything. "Alright, you can continue to wait. I'm going to cultivate." As he spoke, Lin Rei pretended to walk towards the land of divinity and demons. As he turned around, Lin Rei began to count. 1 2 3 4 5. "Brother Lin Rei, please wait a moment. We have something to say." In an instant, Lin Rei, who had just counted to 5, revealed a smile. As he turned around, he put away his smile and asked them with a serious expression. "I wonder, what matter do you all have?" As Lin Rei spoke, he was extremely excited. This was because the fish had finally taken the bait. "We've already waited here for 5 years. I wonder how much longer we will have to wait." Hearing their question, Lin Rei answered without hesitation, "In these 5 years, if nothing unexpected happens, we should be able to leave this place and head to the next cultivation area in about 20 years. "What, 20 years?" As Lin Rei finished speaking, startling Dawn cried out in alarm. Her eyes were filled with disbelief and helplessness. That's right. The divine sense here is strong and the pressure here is incredible. There is also an extremely rich blood infernal energy. With such a good cultivation area, wouldn't it be a waste if we didn't make use of it?" Lin Rei's words caused everyone to reveal bitter expressions. In their hearts, they thought, "You can absorb the blood infernal energy here, but we can't. You've cultivated here for 20 years, but we can't wait here for you for 20 years. Although they could cultivate here, the immortal spiritual energy here was not pure. Cultivating here for 20 years was, at most, half a year outside. Of course, they could only think about this in their hearts. It was inappropriate for them to say it out loud. "Well, brother Lin Rei, you see, we can't leave this place. We can only wait here and can't cultivate. I know my request is unreasonable, but can you teach us the way to absorb the blood infernal energy?" Startling Dawn's words were exactly what Wan Yunduo, Xiaofan, and Zhu Chenxi were thinking. The moment Startling Dawn spoke, they looked at Lin Rei with eyes full of expectation. This Lin Rei, who looked embarrassed, was very happy. However, in order not to believe their doubts, he thought for a while before replying, "Actually, it's not that I can't teach you. It's just that I only teach this cultivation method to people in my sect. You're not from my sect, so." Lin Rei's embarrassed expression was seen by Startling Dawn and the others. However, they were more curious about the sect he mentioned. Since there was such a monstrous person and cultivation method in his sect, it must not be a nameless sect. "Oh, may I ask what's the name of Brother Lin's sect? Where is it stationed? What rank is it?" A series of questions were asked, but Lin Rei could only understand 2 of them. Since they had asked, Lin Rei did not hide it. Oh, compared to your sect, my sect is like a mouse compared to an elephant. There's no comparison. I'm afraid you'll laugh at me if I tell you. Damn, Lin Rei, have some shame. Since you want to take them in, just be straightforward. There's no need to be so wishy-washy like a woman. It's so annoying. Suddenly, as soon as Lin Rei finished speaking, the little dragon's disdainful voice came out. In an instant, Lin Rei rolled his eyes at him and let him experience it himself. When startling Dawn heard Lin Rei's words, he hurriedly said with shame, "Alas. Brother Lin Rei, please don't say that. Since your sect has such a magical and profound method of delivery, why would I belittle it like that? However, although we're disciples of big sects, we've fallen into such a situation. We're really ashamed. Alas. Well, since you want to know, I'll tell you." Looking at them, Lin Rei did not hide it and told them directly. "My sect is called Ninth Heaven Xuanzong Sect. It's stationed in the Endless Mountains. I'm ashamed to say that this is the first time I've traveled to the immortal realm. I didn't expect to encounter such a thing on my first trip out." Hiss, what? Endless Mountains? Ninth Heaven Xuanzong Sect? Hearing Lin Rei's words, everyone was shocked. If they had known that Lin Rei was talking about the Endless Mountains, it was a forbidden area. There were all kinds of demonic beasts in there. It was said that there were even immortal emperors who thought they were immortal primes. Although people said so, there was no proof. Now that they heard Lin Rei's words, they were shocked, especially the Ninth Heaven Xuanzong Sect. They had never heard of such a sect. However, it was able to cultivate a person like Lin Rei. That sect must be a super sect. However, Lin Rei did not know what they were thinking at this time. If he knew, he would definitely burst out laughing. What super sect? It was just a sect with an earth immortal disciple. It was nothing in the immortal realm. Well, that's right. Endless Mountains. Why? Why not? Seeing such a huge reaction from them, Linley actually felt a bit uncomfortable. Although he knew that his sect would definitely become a transcendent sect in the future, the name of his sect had yet to be spread out. How did they know about it? Linley was puzzled. No, it's nothing. It's just that we didn't expect Brother Lin's sect to be stationed in the forbidden area of the Endless Mountain Range. Furthermore, we've never heard of Brother Linley's sect before. It should be a transcendent sect. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been able to nurture a genius like you. Listening to their words, Lin Rei finally knew what they were shocked about. It turned out that they were shocked about the Endless Mountains. Alas. To tell you the truth, the Nine Heavens Xuanzong sect was founded by me. It is not a super sect like you said. Lin Rei explained to them again. This time, they were even more shocked. How could they imagine that a practitioner who had just become a Xian immortal, who was just an earth immortal, had founded a sect alone in the Endless Mountains? He, Brother Lin, is really extraordinary. I didn't expect you to be the head of a sect at such a young age. I really admire you. As they spoke, they couldn't help but feel a sense of respect for Linley. Linley also felt it and nodded with a smile on his face. You don't have to be like this. I know you are very upset here because there is no immortal spiritual energy for cultivation. However, if you join my Xuanzong sect, I can teach you a method to devour blood and evil energy. Of course, the sect's benefits are not limited to this. However, it depends on your own wishes. If you are not willing, well, I will not force you. After saying that, Lin Rei turned around and walked towards the battlefield of gods and devils. At this time, Lin Rei was really leaving. If they were not willing, then even if Lin Rei held a knife to their necks, it would be useless. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. Lin Rei walked step by step towards the land of gods and devils. Startling Dawn and the others were very conflicted and tormented. It was reasonable to say that they were all candidates to inherit the position of the sect head in the future. If they really joined the Xuanzong sect now, it was equivalent to them not having any relationship with the sect in the future. Chapter 343. Brother Lin, please wait for a moment. Just as Startling Dawn and the others were in a dilemma, and Linley was about to leave, Jian Feng's voice rang out in everyone's ears. Everyone's gaze focused on Jian Feng, and of course, Linley's as well. Have you thought it through? After saying these simple words, Linley looked expectantly at Jian Feng, hoping that his answer wouldn't disappoint him. Yes. I've thought it through. I agree to join the Xuanzong sect, but you have to teach me sword principle. If you can't even agree to this, then I won't join. However, once one person started, there would be a second and a third. Hearing Jian Feng's request, this was not a problem for Linley. After all, Jian Feng's specialty was not the way of the sword. Imparting it to him might not be a bad choice. Okay, I promise you. However, I'm afraid that you'll think that I don't know sword principle. Lin Rei didn't lie. He really didn't know much about simple. His so-called sword qi was generated by comprehending the sword qi of the 10,000 laws sword. What? Lin Rei's words made Jian Feng a little stunned. What did he mean by, I don't know much about it? Alas. To tell you the truth, I don't know much about simple. The sword qi you felt was just comprehended by me from the 10,000 laws sword. Therefore, if you really join the Xuanzong sect, I can lend you the 10,000 laws sword to study and comprehend. Currently, there are only 3 swords. Everyone understood the meaning behind his words. However, when they heard the words 10,000 laws sword, they all accepted it. They had all experienced the 10,000 laws sword before. Thus, Jian Feng immediately agreed to Linley's request. Okay, I promise you. I'll join the Xuanzong sect. From now on, I, Jian Feng, will be a disciple of the Xuanzong sect. Ha ha ha, good, good. Jian Feng, I was right about you. However, since you've become a disciple of the Xuanzong sect, I can't treat you unfairly. As he spoke, Lin Rei took out the bottle of pills that were given to each disciple when they went out for training. Similarly, Lin Rei took out a bottle and handed it to Jian Feng. Here. I gave each of them a bottle of elixirs during their free time. Now that you've become a disciple of the Xuanzong sect, should compensate you. Hearing the word pill, Jian Feng accepted it without any hesitation. He knew that this was a good thing. Unless one was a fool, no one would not want it. Ah. Can I still get pills if I join a sect? At this moment, Zhu Chenxi saw the pills in Jian Feng's hand. For a moment, she was tempted. To be honest, Lin Rei's conditions were very tempting. There was the blood-devouring technique, pills, and the possibility of learning formations that even her grandfather didn't know about. With so many benefits, Zhu Chenxi couldn't resist. Okay, I'll join your Xuanzong sect too. However, since Jian Feng has chosen the way of the sword, I'll choose the way of the formation. I hope to come into contact with many new formations. Of course, pills are indispensable. Oh. Lin Rei didn't expect this woman to go back to her own sect. Previously, when he heard their conversation, this woman seemed to be the granddaughter of the Emperor of Formations. Therefore, Lin Rei didn't think much about it. However, now that the plot had changed, Lin Rei hoped to have more people like her. Okay. I have a book on formations here. It's an Emperor-level book on formations. After joining the sect, I can teach you. Similarly, this bottle of pills is for you. As a disciple of the Xuanzong sect, as long as you make enough contributions, you can enjoy high-grade pills. As he spoke, he took out a book on formations. Together with a bottle of pills, he handed it to Zhu Chenxi. He wasn't stingy at all, as if these things were ordinary items that were worthless. Okay. After receiving the books and pills, Zhu Chenxi couldn't wait to see the formation master. Suddenly, her eyes widened and she looked shocked. She even cried out in surprise. Ah! So there really is a blood spirit sky ceiling formation. Even my grandfather's book on formations didn't have much information about it. I didn't expect it to be so complete here. Today's events had completely overturned everything she had known in the past. After receiving the books on formations, she never left the books and studied them. And all this was witnessed by Jing Xiao and Wan Yunduo. To be honest, it was impossible for them not to be moved. However, they couldn't make the decision to join the sect. Therefore, in the end, they didn't agree to Lin Rei's request. Of course, Lin Rei had said before that he couldn't really force them to join his sect. Lin Rei wouldn't force them. As the saying goes, a melon that is forcefully picked is not sweet. Okay, I'll teach you the method of devouring the evil blood aura now. As he spoke, Lin Rei's index and middle fingers formed sword fingers and dropped them on their foreheads. The simplified method of devouring the evil blood aura was transmitted into their minds. Remember, study the method carefully. Don't be in a hurry. Otherwise, it will be counterproductive. At first, the two of you should practice in the outer area. When you're familiar with the method, go to the central area. Remember. After giving his instructions to Jianfeng and Jianfeng, Linli instantly disappeared from where he had been standing. In the blink of an eye, he had reappeared 1,000 meters away, where he had been training. If he had known, he would have used 5 years to reach this stage by relying on the perfect devouring the heavens art. How could their simplified version be compared to the real devouring the heavens art? Sitting cross-legged, Lin Rei once again entered the state of comprehension and cultivation. Lin Rei and Jing Xiao followed his instructions and practiced in the outer area. As for Jing Xiao and the others, they didn't join the Xuanzong sect and didn't receive Lin Rei's guidance. Therefore, they could only wait in the initial area. Everything returned to normal. Linli had taken in 2 people as he wished. Although he hadn't taken in the other 2, Linli was satisfied. As the saying goes, contentment brings joy. Linli wasn't the sort of person who was insatiably greedy. Just like that, year after year passed. Year after year passed. Linli didn't know how many years had passed. During this period of time, Linli's cultivation had increased by quite a bit, but it was nowhere near as fast as it had been in the past. Behind them, Jianfeng and Zhu Chenxi, who had received Linli's energy transmission, had improved quite quickly. Perhaps it was because they already had a high level of cultivation, which was why they were able to refine the baleful aura quite quickly, especially Jianfeng. Originally, he was ready to break through when he was refined by the inner devil. After a few years of consolidation, he felt that his Taoist foundation was stable. Finally, he broke through to the primordial unity golden immortal realm. In these years, Jianfeng practiced hard and studied the sword principle very deeply. As for the others, they all practiced hard. Zhu Chenxi didn't have much time to practice, but her cultivation was very close to reaching the primordial unity golden immortal realm with Jianfeng. For Zhu Chenxi, the art of formation was her life. As long as she had time, she would study the art of formation to the point of madness. Jing Xiao and Jing Xiao had been waiting for Lin Rei and the others. Occasionally, they would practice. Because the immortal spiritual qi here was not very pure, they basically didn't practice much these years. They were still in the realm of true immortals, but they had been comprehending the realm. However, they didn't know that their disappearance had attracted the attention of the forces behind them. Chapter 344. Whether it was the Million Bao sect, the Jingtian sect, the Formation Emperor, or the Sword sect, they all sent people to Jingshao City to search for them 3 years after their disappearance. But because of the obstruction of the evil blood qi, they could not do anything. However, after more than 20 years, there was still no news from the juniors. Their fathers could no longer sit still. They ordered the elders of their sects to lead their disciples to Jingsheng City. They also ordered them to bring Jingshao and the others back to their sects safely no matter what method they had to use. Those who came to search for them were also very anxious. After all, they had watched Jingshao and the others grow up. They also felt sorry for them. However, at this moment, Lin Rei had already woken up. His aura was gradually increasing. In the past 20 years of practice, Lin Rei had forcibly raised his cultivation to the primordial unity genuine celestial realm. And his realm had also risen from the golden celestial realm to the peak of the almighty immortal of the great all-embracing heaven. Of course, if it wasn't for Linli's profound cultivation, then it would be impossible for Linli to break through so quickly even if he possessed even more baleful blood energy. Moreover, Linli was able to sense that if he continued cultivating, then it would probably take another 100 years before he would be able to break through into the golden immortal realm. But the affairs of the world were unpredictable, and no one knew what would happen in the future. However, after waking up, Lin Rei immediately smiled when he sensed the cultivation of Jian Feng and Zhu Chenxi. He felt very gratified for them. After all, their cultivation had increased, which meant that his sect would also rise to a higher level. Moreover, it was not easy to be promoted from a genuine celestial to a primordial unity golden celestial. After all, their inherited cultivation methods were not very good. They had been practicing for so long, so it was impossible to change immediately. Phew! Lin Rei stood up and looked at the end of the battlefield of gods and devils. Lin Rei's eyes revealed a look of dissatisfaction, and his face darkened. Alas! Not bad. We reached the end so quickly. If there were more than a dozen places, even if I stayed here for thousands of years, I would still be happy. I'm willing to do that. Sighing with emotion, he prepared to receive them. At this moment, the little dragon, who had been silent for tens of years, spoke. Humph, you brat, it's good enough that you have such a paradise. Others can't even get one even if they want it, but you don't have it. Look at them. With that, the little dragon appeared, looking as old as ever. Lin Rei was secretly sad, but he still looked in the direction the little dragon was pointing. At this moment, Jian Feng and Zhu Chenxi, who were sitting in the middle of the battlefield of the gods and demons, had happy smiles on their faces. From this, one could imagine how happy they were to be able to cultivate here. What made them even happier was that they could obtain the method to refine the blood qi. If this was in the past, they would never have dared to imagine that such a day would come. Look at them. If they hadn't met you, would they be able to cultivate here? Also, look at their cultivation. If it weren't for the support of the blood qi and coercion, would they be able to break through to the peak of primordial unity golden immortal so quickly? According to their previous cultivation, I'm afraid it would take them 50 to 60 years. Of course, unless they had king-level elixirs or extremely precious herbs. Otherwise, humph. At this point, Lin Rei also understood the meaning of his words just now. He was indeed a little unsatisfied. However, when the little dragon said the next words, Lin Rei was stunned. Hee, but how can your way of thinking be compared to those ordinary people? You're the system owner. Xiaolong's words made Linli want to rush up and give him a good beating. He clearly knew what was going on, but he still spoke so righteously. Little dragon, you're so good at fooling me. Are you crazy? Don't think that I won't dare to scold you just because you've become like this in order to open the bronze door for me. If you were like that, it would still be the same. Humph. After saying that, Lin Rei did not say anything more. Instead, he walked directly toward Jian Feng and Zhu Chenxi. As for the little dragon, he also disappeared and entered the system to cultivate. Lin Rei, who was unwilling to leave Xiaofan, came in front of them in an instant. He said to them through divine sense, "Both of you, wake up. I'll take you to a place that can help you improve your cultivation quickly." Xiaofan and Zhu Chenxi, who were immersed in the Tao of formations, stopped cultivating the moment they heard Lin Rei's words. The moment they saw Lin Rei again, they stood up and bowed to Lin Rei. "The two of us pay our respects to the sect leader." Oh. Xiaofan and Zhu Chenxi's sudden actions made Lin Rei a little uncomfortable. However, he was the sect leader after all. How could he not handle such a small situation? All right. In the future, when we're together, just call me young master. I don't have so many rules here. Yes, young master. Upon hearing Lin Rei's words, the two of them quickly changed their greetings. "May I know why young master has called for us?" Hearing their questions, a smile appeared on Lin Li's face as he said to them, "There isn't much energy left here. Just let them serve as a barrier here. We'll immediately set off for the next cultivation area. You have to know that you won't be able to leave within 100 years. If you're there, I can open the bronze door and let you go." "No need. Since the two of us have joined the Xuanzong sect, we'll definitely follow you wherever you go." In fact, in their hearts, they knew that just this place alone was able to raise their cultivation to such a level. If they went further down, they didn't dare to imagine what would happen. Therefore, after Lin Rei made such a request, they gave up on leaving and followed Lin Rei. How could Lin Rei not know what they were thinking? However, how could Lin Rei not know what they were thinking? "Alright, let's go. As for Jingxiao and Zhu Chenxi, let them wait here. After all, they're not disciples of the sect. There are some secrets that they can't know." After finishing his words, Lin Rei turned and walked into the depths. As for Jingxiao and Zhu Chenxi, Lin Rei had no obligation or responsibility to take them along. After all, they weren't disciples of the Xuanzong sect. This was their choice. Seeing Lin Rei leave decisively, Xiaofan and Zhu Chenxi were very glad that they had made the right choice. Seeing Lin Rei leave, the two of them still wanted to follow. Turning their heads to look at Jingxiao and Zhu Chenxi, who were cultivating, Xiaofan and Zhu Chenxi didn't have the chance. Instead, they followed Lin Rei into the depths of the ruins. Jingxiao and Zhu Chenxi were now cultivating. They didn't know that Lin Rei and the others had already left and were heading into the depths of the ruins. Alright, the cultivation in the battlefield of the gods and devils has ended. Next, we'll go to the end of the ruins, which is the core of the ruins, the gods and devils' blood pool. At this time, Lin Rei, who was on the road again, was puzzled after hearing the words of the little dragon. According to the literal meaning, Lin Rei might know, but this was too strange. How could it be calculated according to common sense? Gods and devils' blood pool? What's that? F***ck. Are you stupid? The gods and devils' blood pool is, of course, a mixture of the blood of the gods and devils. At this time, the little dragon rolled his eyes in front of Lin Rei. He didn't expect Lin Rei to be so stupid. For a moment, Lin Rei was stunned. The little dragon's words made him want to die. He had thought so much before, and the gods and devils' blood pool was the literal meaning. Okay. Lin Rei didn't know what to say, so he closed his mouth and listened to the little dragon. I've told you about the ruins before. It was left behind from the great war of the gods and devils. The ruins are divided into 3 layers. The first layer is the blood spirit sky ceiling formation, and the second layer is the battlefield of the gods and devils. With the obstruction of the evil blood chi, even immortal emperors can't enter. Of course, unless you're an immortal venerable or a devouring cultivator like you. The third level is the place you are heading to now. It is also the place where the essence of the fiend god was left behind. There is a dense baleful blood chi here, and it is 100 or even 1,000 times denser than the baleful blood chi on the fiend god battlefield. There is also a blood pool that is formed from the fiend god's blood essence. You can imagine how precious it is, and nothing can compare to it. After listening to the little dragon's words, Lin Rei's body stopped moving. The two people behind him were even more puzzled. They didn't understand Lin Rei's meaning. Little did they know that Lin Rei was so excited after hearing the little dragon's words that he couldn't control himself. His eyes shone brightly, and his body trembled with excitement. This scene made Xiaofan and the other two people behind him worried. How could Xiaofan and the other two, who had been following behind him, not worry about this sudden situation? "Young master, are you okay?" The sudden words woke Lin Rei up. He suppressed the joy in his heart, and on the surface, he still looked as calm as before. "Oh, I'm fine. Let's continue." Feeling that he had lost his composure, Lin Rei was too embarrassed to say anything. Of course, the little dragon was convulsing with laughter in the system. He was about to pass out from laughing. Ha ha ha. After the laughter reached Lin Rei's ears, his face became embarrassed. His momentary loss of composure gave the little dragon a chance to mock him. "Okay, stop laughing." Warning the little dragon was obviously useless. At this moment, the little dragon seemed to be laughing uncontrollably. Finally, when Lin Rei couldn't take it anymore, he sealed the connection between himself and the little dragon. "Oh, finally quiet. Humph, you only know how to laugh at me." After speaking, Linli led Xiaofan and the other two into the depths of the forest. Now that the news of Xiaolong had been cut off, they finally had some peace and quiet, and their mood instantly improved. Logically speaking, the further they went, the more dangerous it would be. But here, Lin Rei realized that wasn't the case. The two levels of the 1,000 Faces were extremely dangerous. If he didn't rely on his devouring heaven spell, he wouldn't have been able to enter at all. At this time, they had walked very far on the road to the 3rd level, but they didn't find any danger. In Lin Rei's consciousness, he had already relaxed his attitude towards the 3rd level. Chapter 345. As the old saying goes, danger is always close to you when you're relaxed. Just when Lin Rei thought that there was no danger, suddenly, a terrifying force rushed out from the depths and directly enveloped Lin Rei, Zhu Chenxi, and Xiaofan, rushing into the depths. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. They moved so fast that they could clearly hear the wind blowing past their ears. Lin Rei was very shocked at this time. It was reasonable to say that there was no danger along the way, but there was such a powerful force here, which was really beyond Lin Rei's imagination. Xiaofan and Zhu Chenxi, who were also enveloped by the force, were even more so. They could not figure out why they had arrived here safely. "You two don't have to worry. If there is really danger, I will protect you well." After feeling the two's panic, Lin Rei immediately turned his head and gave them a reassuring smile, assuring them. "Oh, young master, what are you talking about? We are the people of the Xuanzong sect. How can we let the sect leader risk his life for his subordinates? If it really comes to that, although we are not very strong, we can still put up a fight. So when the time comes, young master, we will protect you. You go first." Jian Feng's words were enough to prove his loyalty to the Xuanzong sect and to himself. So, Lin Rei secretly swore again that he would never let anything happen to such a person. After making the decision, Lin Rei turned around and did not speak, but quietly looked ahead. "Humph, I want to see who you are, and how you can catch us in an instant." Calming himself down, Linli calmed himself down. When he looked at this matter again, Linli realized that there were some mysteries to it. "Oh, so that's it. In order to verify whether what he thought was true, Lin Rei immediately sent out his divine sense, and the terrain within a radius of 1,000 meters fell into his divine sense. As expected, it is indeed a natural absorption array. I didn't expect to see such an array here. After knowing what was going on, Lin Rei's anxious heart relaxed. He turned around and told everyone about this matter. Don't worry. At this time, he is absorbing the energy of the array. When we reach the place, his energy will disappear. Oh. Absorbing array formation? When they heard that the energy that enveloped them was caused by the formation, they were all shocked, especially Zhu Chenxi. She asked Lin Rei in return. Yes, that's right. This is a naturally formed absorption array. The baleful blood qi here might be strong, but with this natural absorption array, even immortal monarchs and immortal emperors wouldn't be able to survive here. Therefore, it's impossible for us to break this absorption array with our cultivation. After hearing that he could absorb the power of the formation, Zhu Chenxi's reverence for Lin Rei increased again. As expected, the force of nature is very magical. It can even form such an array. It seems that I still have a lot to learn from you about the Tao of arrays. At this moment, the three of them were relieved. If it were others, they would definitely be worried. After all, they couldn't absorb the baleful blood qi. Okay, we're almost there. Follow my pattern later. Don't let your emotions affect your decisions, understand? When his divine sense was about to reach the deepest part, Lin Rei couldn't help but remind Xiaofan and Zhu Chenxi again. Yes, young master. At this moment, at the beginning of the battlefield of gods and devils, Jingxiao woke up from his cultivation. He raised his head and looked at the battlefield of gods and devils. It was empty. He instantly stood up and shouted to Wan Yunduo, who was beside him. Yunduo, this is bad. Lin Rei and Xiaofan have disappeared. What? Wan Yunduo, who was in the midst of cultivation, instantly opened her eyes and looked at the battlefield of gods and devils. It was empty. She was instantly disappointed. Needless to say, they must have gone to the depths of the ruins. Forget it. Let's just wait here. Since they didn't go to the Xuanzong sect, it means that they have no obligation or responsibility to take us to the depths of the ruins. After cultivating here for so many years, Wan Yunduo had become indifferent to everything in the world. Sigh. Jingxiao sighed when he heard Wan Yunduo's words. Then, he sat cross-legged again and closed his eyes. He was filled with regret. If he had known this would happen, he wouldn't have stuck to the old rules. However, he couldn't be blamed. His family's cultivation was very strict. In addition, his ancestor was an immortal venerable. His father and grandfather were both immortal emperors. No one would want to give up such a background and go to a sect with only a profound immortal sect leader. In just an instant, they were immersed in cultivation again. Everything in the outside world had nothing to do with them. At this moment, Lin Rei and the other two, who were enveloped by the absorption formation, had reached the end of the formation. Blood red. It was still blood red. However, this place was much better than the previous battlefield. At the very least, there was a type of red flower here. Linli and the others didn't know the name of this flower. However, it was so beautiful that people couldn't help but want to pick it. Wow, what a beautiful flower! At this moment, Zhu Chenxi, who had reached the end, saw the red flower and couldn't help but go forward to pick it. At this moment, Lin Rei quickly stopped her. Come back here. A sentence imbued with immortal essence entered Zhu Chenxi's ears. Instantly, Zhu Chenxi was jolted awake as if she had been struck by lightning. Huff, huff, what happened to me? Zhu Chenxi, who had just woken up, looked at her hand and opened her eyes to step on the red flower. Her eyes were filled with confusion as she turned her head and asked Xiaofan. Xiaofan didn't know what was going on. He looked at Lin Rei and asked for his opinion. It's okay. That flower probably has a hallucinogenic effect. It's fine as long as you don't pick it. As he spoke, Linley began to walk towards an extremely well-hidden cave. If it wasn't for the fact that Linley was walking in that direction, no one would have discovered that there was another cave up ahead. Xiaofan and Zhu Chenxi followed closely behind. Of course, when they reached the entrance of the cave, a terrifying smell of blood wafted over. Wretch, wretch, wretch. In just a short moment, Xiaofan and Zhu Chenxi, who were at the side, bent over and retched. They couldn't stop vomiting. After vomiting their gallbladder, the two of them felt better. However, at this moment, their faces were pale and bloodless. As for Lin Rei, when he smelled the smell of blood, he only frowned slightly. He didn't feel like vomiting at all. After seeing Xiaofan and Zhu Chenxi's actions, Lin Rei laughed. Ha ha ha, I didn't expect that as practitioners, you can't even smell the smell of blood. How strange. Hearing Lin Rei's words, the two of them quickly raised their heads and resisted the urge to vomit. They looked at Lin Rei curiously and asked in confusion, "Young master, it's not that we can't smell the smell of blood. It's just that we have never smelled this kind of blood before. In the past, when we killed people, we just left after killing them. Who would still smell the smell of blood?" "Yes. Young master, you can smell this kind of blood. It seems that you have killed many people in the past." Their words caused Linley to chuckle. However, what they said wasn't wrong. Back in the profound sky continent, he could annihilate an entire sect without batting an eye. What did this bit of bloodshed count for? Well, there's a blood pool inside. It's the blood essence of gods and demons. It can enhance the power of your bloodline. If you can endure it, you can enter the blood pool to cultivate. Of course, if you can't, I won't force you. As he spoke, Lin Rei took out two items from his ring. One was an elixir and the other was a book. He handed them to the two of them and said understandingly, "Chenxi, this elixir will help you break through your cultivation of array formations. Of course, it might even help you reach the golden immortal realm." What? Really? Looking at the elixir in front of her, Zhu Chenxi was excited. Although she was immune to Lin Rei's endless good things, she was still shocked by Lin Rei at this moment. However, this elixir can only be eaten once in a lifetime. If you eat more, your cultivation of array formations will be destroyed. No matter what method you use, you won't be able to condense it. Of course, although Lin Rei said so, he couldn't give more. He only had one elixir left. Maybe he would give it to his disciple, Cullen. "Okay, I got it." As she spoke, Zhu Chenxi took the elixir and carefully put it in her storage ring. "Xiaofan, I don't have anything to give you. This 10,000 swords technique is for you. Don't despise its low level. I'll give it to you when I have better ones in the future." As he spoke, Lin Rei directly handed the 10,000 swords technique to Xiaofan, hoping that he wouldn't despise it. "Thank you, young master." Looking at the martial skill book in front of him, Xiaofan took it and flipped through it. When he saw the words king-level martial skill, Xiaofan shuddered and the book in his hand fell to the ground. On the other hand, Zhu Chenxi glanced over from the corner of her eye, and the words Emperor rank martial technique entered her eyes. She was instantly extremely shocked. If I knew earlier, then a king rank cultivation technique could be said to be extremely precious in the immortal dimension. Even the sword sect and the various sects might not casually produce a king rank cultivation technique, yet he actually gave it away so easily. At this moment, Zhu Chenxi's expectations of the Xian Zong grew higher and higher, especially his mysterious side. Not only did he know how to set up matrices, but he also knew how to concoct pills that were called king-level martial skills. Otherwise, if he gave them away so easily, she didn't know what even more unbelievable things would happen to the Xian Zong and their sect leader. Thank you for your gift, sect leader. I will work hard to cultivate and contribute to you. At this time, Jian Feng was very excited. He knelt on the ground and thanked Lin Rei. Of course, he also picked up the book that had fallen to the ground. Ha, alright, get up. You are the mainstays of the sect. With you around, the sect will not collapse. That's why I gave you these things. Looking at Lin Rei's indifferent look, the corners of Zhu Chenxi's mouth could not help but twitch. It was the first time that she had seen such a generous sect leader. Usually, the sect leader would accumulate wealth for his sect. However, this sect leader was rich and collected people. Alright, I'll go in first. If you've made up your mind, come in. If you haven't, you can cultivate outside. But remember, don't touch those red flowers. Besides, the blood qi outside is very strong. I'm looking forward to seeing which realm you'll be in when you wake up again. Chapter 346. After saying that, Lin Rei walked towards the cave with the blood pool. However, at the entrance of the waterway cave, Lin Rei felt that something was wrong. He turned around and went to the exit. Luckily, I thought of it in advance. Otherwise, if someone suddenly came in, damn it, it would be terrible. As he spoke, Lin Lei's mind began to conjure up formations capable of harnessing powerful experts. As a king-level formation master, he wasn't very familiar with formations of this level. In his mind, all kinds of formations flashed past. Of course, it would be best if they could reach the emperor level, because the formations he had learned were only at the emperor level. The death formation of heaven and earth, a king-level formation, was set up with 386 formation flags. It had the power to absorb and hunt. Even immortal monarchs would not be able to escape from it. Although it could not kill the intruder immediately, it could exhaust the intruder's immortal spiritual qi and kill him. The Azura killing formation was a king-grade formation. It was set up with baleful blood qi, and the thicker the baleful blood qi, the stronger the formation would be. Those who entered the formation would lose their minds and be corroded by the baleful blood qi. Even high immortal lords would die if they entered. The 8 trigrams ridge formation, the sky dome formation, the emperor level formation, the burning heart formation, the king level formation. The burning heart formation. Suddenly, just when Lin Rei wanted to see what other formations there were, the burning heart formation appeared in Lin Rei's mind. The burning heart formation, although a king-level formation, was on par with an emperor-level formation. Its power was unparalleled. To set up a formation, one must have a divine flame. The higher the level of the flame, the stronger the formation. It could even kill immortal monarchs. The heavens are helping me, the heavens are really helping me. There are more formations like this. I don't believe that a celestial venerable would come here. After making up his mind, without hesitation, the illusory spirit blood fire appeared and started to set up the formation at the entrance of the cave. However, this was the first time he had set up a formation, so it was inevitable that he would be a little unfamiliar with it. Behind him, Jian Feng and Zhu Zhu, who had been observing Lin Rei, saw Lin Rei's actions and their eyes lit up. Zhu Chenxi could not extricate herself from the scene. Her eyes sparkled and she could not stop sighing. Alas! It was indeed powerful. This formation was at least at the king level, not the emperor level. This power. At this point, Zhu Chenxi shut her mouth. As an array master herself, she knew that array masters were most afraid of external disturbances when they were setting up an array. At this moment, the sweat on Lin Rei's face flowed freely down his cheeks, but there was indeed a smile on his face. As expected, the burning heart raging flames formation is not so easy to set up. Boom! In an instant, the burning heart flame that was half arranged collapsed and dispersed. The first arrangement had ended in failure. Humph, I don't believe that I can't set up a small formation today. In an instant, the illusory spirit blood fire was used again. This time, Lin Rei clearly felt that it was different. This time, it was faster and smoother than the first time. Slowly, the illusory spirit blood fire began to spread on the ground, and an array diagram of the burning heart raging flame was automatically drawn. Hehe, as expected, although it's not very skillful, it's much better than before. I hope this time I can succeed. Although he had said tough words before, drawing an array diagram was a very time-consuming thing. It was not something that could be successfully drawn just because he wanted to. It required a person's endurance, patience, and control of immortal spiritual qi. Of course, the most important thing was the props to draw the array diagram. Time passed, bit by bit. In this dark place, no one knew how much time had passed. Linley only knew that a very long time had passed. Finally, at this moment, the grand formation of the burning heart of raging flames was about to be completed. The burning heart raging flames formation is completed. With a swoosh, a flame appeared at the exit and sealed it. Seeing this scene, Lin Rei had a tired smile on his face. His tense body finally relaxed at this moment. Plop. Lin Rei, who was about to stand up, hesitated to draw the array diagram. He had used too much of his mind and mental strength. At this moment, Lin Rei was exhausted and fell directly to the ground. Young master, are you okay? Zhu Chenxi and Jian Feng, who had been paying attention to the array diagram, came to Lin Rei's side the moment they saw Lin Rei fall. They helped Lin Rei up and asked with concern. Hehe, I'm fine. It's just that I used too much energy to set up the array. I'll be fine after cultivating for a while. You have to remember, this array diagram, you must not recklessly barge in. With your current cultivation, you will be destroyed in an instant. Looking at Jian Feng who were concerned about him, Lin Rei quickly told them that he did not know the power of the array diagram just now. If they did not know and wanted to test the array, Lin Rei would not be able to save them in time even if they died. SSS, yes, we know. When Zhu Chenxi heard Linley's words, she was immediately shocked. She had never seen such an array before. Not even her grandfather, the array emperor, was able to use his own flames to draw an array without using any external objects. This was something that even her grandfather, the array emperor, could not do. Okay, I'll go in first. You guys stay here and cultivate. If you want Lin Rei, come in. The energy in these few years is many times higher than outside. As he spoke, Lin Rei sent Jian Feng and Zhu Chenxi, who were supporting him, over and strolled into the cave. This time, Lin Rei directly entered without turning his head. All the precautions were in place. Therefore, Lin Rei's worries were gone. Jian Feng and Zhu Chenxi, who were waiting outside, watched Lin Rei enter the cave and turned their heads to look at the array diagram again. Then, they each found a place and sat cross-legged to cultivate. Phew, it seems that I have to practice drawing arrays more in the future. I've only set up one array diagram and it consumes so much energy. However, I should also be a weapon refiner in the future. Otherwise, I won't be able to make array flags. Thinking of this, Lin Rei came back to his senses. What he saw was a blood pool that was 10 meters long and 10 meters wide. However, he did not know how deep it was. The blood in the blood pool was still bubbling from time to time, as if it was boiling. It was extremely terrifying. The space in the cave was not very big. Other than the blood pool, there was only an altar. There was nothing else. Blood pool, I'm coming. Looking at the blood pool in front of him, Lin Rei could no longer stop himself and directly jumped into it. Plop. Lin Rei, who jumped into the blood pool, splashed a flower of blood. Fresh blood covered Lin Rei's entire body. His face was also stained with blood, and he could no longer see his previous appearance. Hiss as expected, the energy in the blood pool is so strong. Even the energy absorbed in the battlefield of gods and demons over the past few years is not as good as cultivating here for a month. One could imagine how strong the energy in the blood pool was. Compared to this, the battlefield of gods and demons from before was simply trash. Hee, that's why. How can the place I found for you be bad? No matter what, you are the owner of the system. How can I let you cultivate in such a trashy place? Don't you think so, Lin Rei? The little dragon's voice appeared and disappeared mysteriously. Lin Rei had long been used to this. But what made Lin Rei feel strange was that he had clearly cut off the connection with the little dragon, so why was it still like this now? That's not right, little dragon, I'm not. Could it be? As Lin Rei said, he realized that the connection between him and the little dragon seemed to be cut off. If that was the case, wouldn't it mean that there was no personal time? Hee, that's right. The two of us are tied together. But if you don't want me to see something, I can't see it. But if you talk, I can still barely hear it. The facts prove that. Lin Rei was speechless. I didn't expect the system to have so many loopholes. There's actually such a thing. As Lin Rei said, he closed his eyes and didn't say anything. However, the little dragon was like a faucet. Once it was turned on, it couldn't be turned off again. Let me tell you, this is the place of the gods. You have to cultivate well. It will take you at least 100 years to complete this blood. Also, the previous formation wasn't called an absorption formation. It was just a natural storage formation. In the future, don't impart knowledge carelessly if you don't understand. Otherwise, you'll embarrass yourself and even more so me. Every word fell into Lin Rei's ears. At this moment, Lin Rei had reached the point where he couldn't bear it any longer and finally exploded. Enough, little dragon. I beg you, don't be like a meddlesome woman and nag endlessly. If you do this, I'm very. At this point, Lin Rei didn't continue. When he thought of the repercussions left when the little dragon didn't hesitate to help him open the bronze door, Lin Rei didn't know how to continue. Alright, Xiaolong, you go back first. After I've cultivated here for 100 years, whatever you want to say when I come out, I'll accompany you. You've said it yourself, I'm in urgent need to increase my strength. Otherwise, as the patriarch of a sect, if I don't have the strength to protect my sect's disciples, that would be a very shameful matter. As he said that, Lin Rei closed his eyes again. He activated the Devouring Heaven technique and the Chaos Scripture and began to cultivate. Lin Rei was already at the peak of the Zenith Heaven realm. As long as he had enough energy, he could break through. However, the energy that Lin Rei needed was the energy of hundreds of practitioners in the Zenith Heaven realm. For this, it wasn't a small amount. After the little dragon heard Lin Rei's words, a smile appeared on his face. The corners of his mouth curled into a smile. Then, he disappeared from the cave and returned to the system to recuperate. Lin Rei began his closed-door cultivation. This was the longest closed-door cultivation he had ever done. Outside, Jingqing City was in an uproar. In just a few years, the elders of various sects had led their disciples here in order to find the missing descendants of Jingshao and other sections. Among them, the Array Emperor was the most powerful. In order to find his granddaughter, he didn't hesitate to promise the entire immortal realm that if his granddaughter was found, he would build a peerless formation for the person who found her. Chapter 347. Just like that, the sects reached an agreement with the Formation Emperor to send people into the ruins to search for their missing descendants. Although it was difficult for the immortal monarchs and immortal emperors to open the bronze door, in order to find their descendants, they did not hesitate to use the power of immortal primes. Finally, the bronze door opened. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Instantly, the sects and Hao Yu could not wait to enter the bronze door. When they appeared again, the scene in front of them had changed. It was blood red. Although there was still blood qi, it was not very dense. However, compared to the outside, it was slightly denser. However, such a scene was still a little scary for them. After all, such a place was rare. Moreover, with the thick smell of blood, no matter how many people they killed, it was impossible for them to break through and compare to this place. Some people could not even bear the scene and vomited. Their faces were pale and they could not bear to look at it. Jing Shao? Wan Yunduo? Hao Yu called out excitedly when he saw Startling Dawn, who were cultivating not too far away from them, when he noticed the change in the scene. Boom! For cultivators, the most taboo thing was to be disturbed when they were cultivating. At this moment, Jing Shao encountered such a situation. After hearing the commotion outside, the immortal spiritual qi that was flowing smoothly suddenly went out of control and began to wreak havoc in his veins. Puff! Jing Shao spat out a mouthful of blood and opened his eyes instantly. Looking at the person who offended him, Jing Shao could not wait to kill him. However, when he saw the bronze door, Jing Shao was stunned. Third uncle? You, why are you here? Jing Shao asked in disbelief. He did not expect that his third uncle, the third elder of Jingtian's sect, Jing Hong, would be here. What was he doing here? Looking for him, or? I'll deal with you when we get back. Do you know that in these few years, your father has been worried sick and your mother has fallen ill? Hearing his third uncle's words, Jing Shao knew that he was exaggerating. However, when he heard that his mother had fallen ill, he did not care who disturbed his cultivation. No, mother is sick. I have to go back immediately. After saying that, Jing Shao stood up and prepared to go home to see his mother. However, he was stopped by Jing Hong. Well, your mother is fine. She just misses you. You should know why I'm here. I'm here to find you. Secondly, I want to see how powerful the ruins are. Even you, a practitioner at the Tai Genuine Immortal Realm, can't pass through it. Phew. It's good that mother is fine, it's good that she's fine. It was a false alarm. The moment he learned that his mother was fine, Jing Shao heaved a sigh of relief, and his tense body relaxed. With a swishing sound, a group of people appeared outside of the bronze gate. Everyone knew who they were. They were from the 10,000 Treasure Sect. Furthermore, they were high-ranking members of the 10,000 Treasure Sect. Their leader was the great elder of the 10,000 Treasure Sect, Wan Yuan. At this moment, Wan Yuan's face was filled with anxiety. The moment he entered the battlefield, his small eyes began to scan the place, hoping to find the person he was looking for. Cloud. Looking at Wan Yunduo, who was still cultivating in the distance, Wan Yuan didn't cry out in alarm. Instead, he used his divine sense to transmit into Wan Yunduo's ears, Yunduo, quickly wake up. Uncle is here to find you. His words made Wan Yunduo stop cultivating. She opened her eyes and looked excitedly in the direction of the bronze gate. At a glance, she saw her strangely dressed and suspicious-looking uncle, Wan Yuan. With a swish, Wan Yunduo teleported to Wan Yuan's side. She threw herself into Wan Yuan's arms and began to cry. Uncle, you've finally come to find Duo. Do you know that it's so boring here? All I do is cultivate every day. When the surrounding people saw Wan Yunduo crying, they thought that she had been wronged or bullied. They didn't expect that these words would come out of her mouth. Immediately, everyone present rolled their eyes, expressing their helplessness. He, good girl Duo, don't be afraid. See, uncle is here to pick you up. And I've brought you a lot of food. With that, Wan Yuan let go of an Yunduo and came to an open space on the side. With a thought, all kinds of immortal treasures and seafood appeared on the originally empty space. Ah! Wan Yunduo cried out in alarm. For a moment, she didn't care about being a girl or a young lady. The moment she saw the immortal treasures and seafood, she went forward, grabbed the leg of an unknown demonic beast and began to eat. For a moment, the surrounding people were stunned. They didn't expect that the direct descendant of the sect master of the Wanbao sect was such a person. Of course, this included Startling Dawn. No matter what, the two of them had been together for a few decades. He never expected that Wan Yunduo would have such a cute side to her. She was usually cold and distant, giving off a feeling of being 1,000 miles away from others. Hey, Jingxiao, come quickly. These are all good things. You don't often get to eat them outside. Jingxiao, who was looking at Wan Yunduo again, suddenly heard Wan Yunduo's invitation. He wanted to decline, but he couldn't refuse her kindness. Besides, what Wan Yunduo said was true. He had only seen a part of the things here. It was true that they were treasures. Eventually, Jingxiao joined in as well. Originally, he had been concerned about the reputation of the sect and his third uncle, but as he ate, he forgot about all of that and began to gobble up the food. He even began to drink wine and eat meat in large mouthfuls. As for the battlefield, more and more people arrived. Every one of them was at least an expert at the Grand Unity True Immortal stage. The cultivators from the various great sects and even the empires had come. With the exception of a small number who came to look for their children, the others had come for the items within the ruins. Time passed by slowly. Soon, more than 1,000 people came. Jingxiao, who was eating, saw so many people. He knew that more than 100,000 people would go into the depths of the ruins today. At this moment, he was not in the mood to eat. He began to worry about Lin Rei. These people were several times stronger than Lin Rei and the others. Some were even 100 times stronger. He didn't want to see Lin Rei in danger. Hey, Startling Dawn brat, have you seen my Chensi? She's here too, but I haven't found her yet. Do you know? At this moment, Startling Dawn, who was worried about Linley's condition, suddenly saw a white-haired child walk up to him and ask. Senior Array Emperor, I'm here to pay my respects. Humph, don't tell me this. I just want to know how my granddaughter is doing. Looking at Jingxiao's complicated formalities, the Array Emperor directly skipped over them and asked again. His eyes were filled with indescribable anxiety. That, Senior, actually your granddaughter is fine. Maybe she's doing very well now. And don't worry. You'll know when it's simple. Looking at the Array Emperor's anxious face, Jingxiao didn't hide it anymore. Although he didn't say it explicitly, he still told the Array Emperor that Zhu Chenxi was still safe. Really? Hearing Jingxiao's words, the Array Emperor had already believed him. If he had known this earlier, he wouldn't have dared to lie to him in the immortal realm. However, what puzzled the Array Emperor was that when Jingxiao spoke, there were obvious elements of jealousy in his tone. Really? Chapter 348. Good. After knowing that his granddaughter was not in danger, the Array Emperor was finally relieved. However, at this moment, the Array Emperor started to feel curious. What could make a young master like Jingxiao so envious? The Array Emperor also felt that it was not only Jingxiao, but also the little girl from the Wanbao sect. If it was only one person, the Array Emperor would not say anything. However, it was different when there were two people. As the saying goes, there must be something fishy going on. The Array Emperor was sure that there must be something fishy going on. Seeing through something but not seeing through it was the most basic principle of life. The Array Emperor did not know. Since his granddaughter was safe and had a chance encounter, the Array Emperor smiled. Similarly, the Sect Master of the Sword Sect, who was also an immortal emperor, had given up guarding the sect in order to find his son. He had come here to find his son who had been missing for many years. As soon as the Array Emperor left, Jingxiao, who thought he could breathe a sigh of relief, suddenly saw the Sect Master of the Sword Sect, Jian Wudi, an immortal emperor, walking towards him. He had seen the Sect Master of the Sword Sect before, so Jingxiao knew that he was also a father looking for his son. "Oh, Jingxiao, although I know you don't have much of a relationship with my Feng, you should know that he has been missing for more than 20 years. Sigh. Jian Wudi sighed and looked at Jingxiao expectantly, hoping that he could tell him the whereabouts of his precious son. Uncle Jian, I can't say much. I can only tell you that Jian Feng had a great opportunity this time. He should be in the depths of the ruins now. He is very safe. You can rest assured." This sentence reflected many aspects. Hearing startling Dawn's words, Jian Wudi relaxed. His originally worried face now revealed a trace of a smile. "Thank you very much. When you come to the Sword Sect in the future, I promise you that you can choose any weapon from the treasury as a thank you gift." After speaking, Jian Wudi turned and left. When Jingxiao heard Jian Wudi's words, he was about to say something when he saw Jian Feng's silhouette. Sigh. Jian Feng and Zhu Chenxi are so lucky this time. I guess I will have to work harder to catch up with them in the future. To be honest, Jingxiao regretted it at this moment. If he was given another chance to choose, he would choose to follow Lin Rui and join the Xuanzong sect without hesitation. Of course, at this moment, Wan Yunduo, who was standing at the side and listening to everyone asking about her family, felt very regretful. She regretted not being able to let go of her identity as the daughter of the Wanbao sect leader. Unfortunately, it was all too late. "Everyone, we are all here for the same purpose. The entrance to the depths of the ruins is right in front of us. As long as we move forward, we will be able to find our own opportunities. Are you all willing to go forward and find your own opportunities?" Suddenly, a middle-aged man with immortal emperor's aura and immortal spiritual chi shouted at the crowd while everyone was reminiscing about the past. "Ha! What a clown! Since when did a nobody like you have the right to speak? You really don't know what you're talking about. Another idiot who doesn't care about his life." At this moment, the sect leaders and elders of the various large sects all silently despised these people in their hearts after hearing their words. Of course, some people from the immortal sects agreed without hesitation after hearing the immortal emperor's call. "We are willing to follow the immortal emperor to find our opportunities." More than half of the cultivators had joined the camp of the nameless immortal emperor. As for the remaining people, they were all brought along by the elders or sect leaders of the top sections. Without receiving any orders, it would be inappropriate for them to do anything. Good. Then all of you, follow me. After saying that, the immortal emperor saw how popular he was and led the crowd into the depths of the ruins without any hesitation. Along the way, the evil blood chi that they passed by should be fine for ordinary cultivators. However, for experts who had already become immortal emperors, although there was still a little bit of evil blood chi, it was not a big deal. Borrowing the power of the universe, God's retreat. Open for me. Boom. After a red light beam was shot out from the immortal emperor's hand, it passed through the battlefield of divinity and demons. At this moment, all the evil blood chi floating in the battlefield of divinity and demons retreated to both sides at this moment, opening up a great path in the middle. Looking at the path that opened up, the immortal emperor did not say anything and walked forward directly. The hundreds of cultivators behind him followed closely behind. Let's go and take a look. If Brother Lin is in trouble, we can still help him. At this moment, Jing Xiao, who came out of the bronze door of the second level, said to Wan Yunduo beside him with eyes full of worry when he saw the mighty group of cultivators walking towards the depths of the ruins. Yes, that's right. Wan Yunduo agreed with Jing Xiao and walked towards the depths of the ruins. As for the uncles who came to find them, they did not say anything when they saw the direction they were walking in. Their purpose of coming here was to see the ruins. Therefore, after Jing Xiao and Jing Xiao left, they also followed. There was no lack of top sects among them. Even the Sword Sect and the Array Emperor, who knew that their relatives were safe, followed closely behind to find out what was going on. The idiot who walked in front saved them from having to do anything. As for the immortal emperor at the front, he kept using his cultivation method to help the group behind him. Humph, wait and see. I'll spend some effort now. When it's time to use you, you'll know that those who take advantage of others are soft-mouthed and those who take advantage of others are short-handed. They kept moving forward. This time, the situation like Lin Ray did not happen. Along the way, other than clearing a path to avoid the blood-killing qi, there was no other danger to speak of. The deeper they went, the higher the temperature became. Gradually, a huge array appeared in front of them. How could there be an array here? He stopped and looked at the array in front of him. His heart was full of doubts. It was reasonable to say that the previous array was powerful enough. Why was there another array here? He did not understand. Senior, what should we do? This array looks very powerful. It's not easy to deal with. At this moment, a cultivator at the back said. After feeling the heat from the array, his heart was filled with fear. He could not help but take a step back and asked the immortal emperor in front of him in a trembling voice. Hiss, this array's level is so high. At this moment, the array emperor at the back was very surprised when he saw the array in front of them. When Startling Dawn saw the array, the first thing he thought of was Lin Ray. As for Zhu Chenxi, Startling Dawn automatically ranked her array Dao behind Lin Ray. Humph, break through. Isn't it just a small array? Break through it. You must break through it. After saying that, the immortal emperor at the front rushed directly into the array. Perhaps he wanted to have some influence among this group of cultivators. When the group of cultivators behind him saw that their leader had entered the array, they had no reason to refuse. They also entered the array and tried to break through it. Chapter 349. Humph, a bunch of ignorant ants. You can actually break into this formation as you please. You really don't know what's good for you. At this moment, the array emperor, who was at the back, wanted to remind them when he saw the level of the formation and its power. However, before he could do so, they had already entered. The array emperor, who had nothing to do with him, could only sit on the mountain and watch the tigers fight. After all, it was not his disciples who died. Of course, there were also shrewd people, such as the Sword Sect Master. When he saw the group of people enter, he quietly came to the Array Emperor's side and asked for advice through divine sense. Array Emperor, a straightforward person, does not resort to insinuations. Do you know the origin of this formation, its name, and how powerful it is? Ha! Hearing the Sword Sect Master's inquiry, the Array Emperor's lips curled into a smile as if it was none of his business. He said to the Sword Sect Master, Jian Wudi, actually, it's not impossible for me to tell you. Look, other people ask me about formations. At the very least, they have to have something of equivalent value in exchange. But look, you're empty-handed. TSK, beg me. Before the Array Emperor finished speaking, he suddenly saw a jade slip appear in Jian Wudi's hand. He was overjoyed as he took it and placed it in his storage ring. Hey, that's right. Equivalent exchange, no one loses out. Since you've already given it to me, I'll tell you. Speaking of formations, the Array Emperor's eyes were completely different from before. At this moment, the Array Emperor was very serious, and so was the Sword Sect Master. I don't know the name of this formation, but it's very likely to be an Emperor-level formation. But just as he was about to enjoy himself, the Array Emperor suddenly gasped. The Sword Sect Master was helpless, but there was nothing he could do. But although I feel that it's an Emperor-level formation, I also feel that it's a King-level formation. However, this formation is not something you and I can enter. If you enter rashly, only death awaits. That's all I have to say. As for whether you enter or not, it's not something I can control. With that, the Array Emperor left while Jian Wudi remained where he was. I wonder what Jian Wudi gave me. I don't think he would be so stingy as the leader of a sect. After leaving, the Array Emperor came to a place with no one around. He was secretly delighted. Uncle Wudi, you don't have to worry. I think this formation was set up by that person. The sword edge will be fine with that person. Jian Wudi, who was still in shock, came back to his senses when he heard Jing Zhao's voice. He wanted to ask who the person was, but just as Jian Wudi was about to ask, there was a strange movement in the Array formation. Inside the formation, the moment the hundreds of people entered the formation, they seemed to have entered a fire spirit space. In this place, there were only flames, and the temperature was frighteningly high. At this moment, more than half of these people were already regretting their actions. This included the Immortal Emperor expert. Of course, he couldn't show his regret. Otherwise, his 10,000 years as an immortal emperor would be greatly disgraced. Everyone, don't panic. This formation is only a heaven-level formation. There's nothing to be alarmed about. Listen to my command and attack. Do you understand? At this moment, the immortal emperor pretended to be calm and gave orders to the hundreds of people behind him. In an instant, the hundreds of people became spirited and their confidence increased. Yes, we will obey the immortal emperor's command. However, they did not understand that they were in the middle of a formation. If they could not find the formation I, then the formation would be unbreakable. Of course, if it was an ordinary formation, they might have a chance. However, they had encountered a freak like Lin Rei. The formation I was the core of a formation. Normally, it would be hidden in the formation by a formation master. However, Lin Rei's burning heart-raging flame formation was an exception. The illusory spirit bloodfire that Lin Li used to set up the formation was his own illusory spirit bloodfire. In other words, the illusory spirit bloodfire was the eye of the formation. Therefore, the eye of the formation was on Lin Li's body, but Lin Li was not in the formation. In other words, only death awaited them. If they wanted to break the formation, unless Lin Li died on the other side of the formation, it was impossible. However, the moment they were about to break the formation, the whole formation changed. At this moment, Lin Rei, who was in the blood pool, opened his eyes and killing intent jumped out. At this moment, Lin Rei, who was covered in blood and had a murderous look in his eyes, looked like a devil god. Oh, you want to break the formation? Why don't you see who set up this formation? The moment they entered the formation, Lin Rei, who had a slight connection with the formation, knew that there was an expert at the Celestial Emperor realm among them. Since you are so dishonest, all of you should surrender to me. After saying that, Lin Rei stood up from the blood pool and walked out of the cave step by step. The moment he came out, Jian Feng and Zhu Chenxi were sitting on the left and right of the cave, cultivating. Oh, I didn't teach you in vain. The younger generation will surpass us in time. After sighing with emotion, Lin Rei came to the front of the formation. Looking at the flame barrier, he transmitted his voice to the people in the formation. It hasn't been easy for all of you to reach this level of cultivation. If you submit, I'll take you under my wing. If you don't submit, then your thousands of years of cultivation will come to an end today. Who is it? Come out. Don't play tricks. This is demonic behavior. The sudden voice frightened the people in the array formation even more. Humph, I will give you 3 breaths of time to consider. When the time is up, don't talk about kneeling down and begging me, it will be useless. After hearing the Celestial Emperor's question, Lin Rei did not have the chance to speak. In fact, when Lin Rei was speaking, he had already checked all of them. Their spiritual roots and potential were all known to Lin Rei. After saying that, he began to count down. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it seems like you won't shed tears until you see the coffin. In that case, don't blame me for being merciless. At this time, the people in the formation were hiding behind the Celestial Emperor with determined eyes. They all thought that the Celestial Emperor could save them. In fact, they did not know that the Celestial Emperor was scared out of his wits. Burning heart and raging flames, 9 dragons kill the sky, devour. After the incantation and the system of hand seals were completed, the burning heart and raging flames formation began. Everyone in the formation instantly felt the heat in the fiery space increasing at a faster and faster speed. At the same time, 9 fire dragons formed from flames instantly evolved in the formation. The pressure was enough to suppress everyone in the formation. Ao! Ao! Dragon roars came into their ears. The fire dragons were so lifelike, as if they were real. Every single dragon scale was clearly visible. If there was a real dragon here, he wouldn't be able to tell which one of them was real and which one was fake. Swish! The 9 dragons disappeared in an instant. When they reappeared, they each went behind a person. They opened their bloody mouths and directly swallowed a practitioner of the Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal. He did not even have time to scream before he disappeared from this world. When this phenomenon appeared, everyone was scared out of their wits and screamed. Even worse, some people were so scared that they lost control of their bladder. The pool of dirty water on the ground was unbearable to look at. On the other side of the array formation, the instant the screams rang out, everyone was stunned, and their hearts began to panic. What's going on? Is this formation really so powerful? At this time, after hearing the screams, Jian Woody kept asking himself whether this formation was really powerful. At the same time, a question arose in his heart. Who on earth was the person mentioned by Jing Shao? Why did he set up such a formation? Of course, he was most concerned about his son. He did not know when his son had made friends with such a powerful person. For a moment, he felt gratified for his son in his heart. Not only Jian Woody, but even the Array Emperor felt the same. Although he said that the formation's power was unparalleled, it was just his guess. He had never seen such a thing. However, at this time, his guess was confirmed. His guess was right. For a moment, screams came from the formation, forcing everyone to retreat. Within the formation, there had originally been nearly 800 cultivators. But now, there were only 200 or 300 left. The severed limbs on the ground were pitiful. This place, which had already been covered in blood, was now stained with a new layer of blood. The scene was so bloody that it could be described as a river of blood. All the corpses were piled together and the blood condensed into a river, flowing out of the formation. When the people outside saw the blood flowing out from the formation, their minds went blank. This was especially true for Jing Shao and Wan Yunduo. They didn't expect this formation to turn more than 800 cultivators, and one of them was an immortal emperor, into such a state. At this moment, they regretted it even more, but it was too late. Ah. Come out, quickly come out, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you, ah. At this moment, the immortal emperor in the array was scared out of his wits. He didn't expect the array to be so powerful. It was so powerful that he couldn't do anything about it. Although the array couldn't hurt him, it could slowly consume his immortal spiritual chi. At that time, wouldn't he be at the mercy of others? I'll give you one more chance. Surrender or die. This time, I'll only give you one breath's time to consider. I surrender to you. Please don't kill me, don't kill me. Before he finished speaking, most of the people in the formation knelt on the ground and kowtowed. The remaining people also raised their heads proudly, as if their status was very noble. A group of cowards. As immortal emperors, you dare to kneel and kowtow to others. You really have no sense of shame. I misjudged you. Chapter 350. Those who hadn't knelt down were greatly disappointed when they saw that the people following them were such people. They regretted listening to this sanctimonious scum in the first place. At this moment, the people who were still standing had looks of despair in their eyes. However, their unyielding gazes immediately made Lin Rei, who was outside the array formation, praise them greatly. I didn't expect that there would be a bunch of people with backbone in this group. Their innate skill is indeed worthy of them. Not bad. At this moment, Lin Rei, who was inside the array formation, saw the situation inside the array formation. He was greatly disappointed with those who had knelt down and begged for mercy. However, he looked at those who had refused to submit in the face of threats in a new light. Therefore, Lin Rei decided to give these people a chance to become his subordinates. Although such people wouldn't be able to hold their own in the future, they would definitely be people with good moral character. You all, I'm giving you a chance. I've taken a liking to your qualities. If you submit to me, your futures will be limitless. You definitely won't be like today. Your achievements will definitely be extraordinary. Are you willing? The voice transmission technique reached their ears. As for the people kneeling on the ground outside, they had no idea what was going on. You really won't do anything to us? We didn't kneel before you. Lin Rei's actions confused those people. However, the chance to live in front of them was incomparably precious to them, who had cultivated for thousands or even tens of thousands of years. They weren't willing to give it up. Therefore, with a plop, the people who hadn't knelt down before now knelt on the ground. This action puzzled those who had knelt down before. What's going on? Why did they suddenly change their minds? They didn't know that they had already been sentenced to death the moment they knelt on the ground for the first time. Get up, all of you. From now on, you will be disciples of the Xuanzong Sect. Eat the elixir in front of you and you will be disciples of the Xuanzong Sect. The moment they knelt down, Lin Rei knew that they had sincerely submitted. However, just in case, they still had to eat the soul-controlling elixir. In an instant, more than 50 medicinal pills were directly integrated into the formation, and instantly went to the person who had knelt down and was favored by Lin Rei, and ordered him to eat it. Gulp, gulp. Lin Rei smiled when he heard it. At this moment, Lin Rei was relieved. Without any hesitation, he grabbed the pill and swallowed it. This was something that could only be done by someone who had sincerely submitted and no longer had any doubts about the person who had submitted to him. Alright, come out. His divine sense enveloped them and instantly moved the people who swallowed the soul-controlling pill to a large distance away, arriving in front of Lin Rei. This scene caused the people in the formation to be unhappy. This was especially so for the immortal emperor. When he saw those people leaving, he stood up with a malevolent expression and roared at Lin Rei. What is the meaning of this? Even the emperor has knelt before you. Why do you still refuse to let the emperor go? The immortal emperor barked like a mad dog in the formation. At this moment, Lin Rei was looking at the 50 people who had submitted to him with admiration. You are not bad. Every one of you has already reached the Grand Luo realm. However, your aura is unstable, and your Tao foundation is even more unstable. Therefore, you should use the remaining time to stabilize your cultivation and consolidate your Tao foundation. This way, you will have a higher level of development in the future. To be honest, Lin Rei was very happy when he saw their cultivation. However, their Tao foundation was very unstable. Lin Rei had made this request for them. Of course, it was also for the good of the Xuanzong sect's future. Yes, we will obey the master's order. At this moment, the soul-controlling pill had taken effect. They had already regarded Lin Rei as a godlike existence. They had no doubts about Lin Rei at all. Lin Rei's words were like an imperial edict, and they did not dare to disobey. Well, go back to your cultivation. After 100 years, I will check your Tao foundation cultivation. If it is still unstable, then don't blame me for being impolite. As he spoke, a substantial murderous aura instantly rushed out of Lin Rei's body and filled the entire space. Jian Feng and Zhu Chenxi, who were cultivating at the side, were awakened at this moment. When they saw the scene in front of them, the two of them were dumbfounded. Before they went into seclusion, there were only 3 of them. As a result, when they opened their eyes, they saw more than 50 people. Moreover, each of them had a higher cultivation than them. How could they bear such a blow? As members of the aristocratic sects, they were born with a will that did not admit defeat. When they saw that these people in front of them had a higher cultivation than them, they did not hesitate and went back to cultivating. They did not care who these people were. Those who could enter this place were people that Lin Rei could trust. Of course, Lin Rei could sense the actions of Jian Feng and Zhu Chenxi. He smiled and did not say anything. Lin Rei was happy for them that they could improve their strength. Well, you can find a place to cultivate. After saying that, Lin Rei did not look at them anymore. His divine senses instantly went into the formation. As for the 50 practitioners, after receiving the order, they found a place to cultivate. For practitioners like them, they could cultivate anywhere. No matter how strong the illusory spirits around them were, for them, strength was the most important thing. As for those illusory things, they did not care about them at all. Bastard, get out here and let us go. Otherwise, even if I die, I will not let you have an easy time. Such words were spreading in the formation. Lin Rei did not care about their words. Since there was no one he needed in the formation, there was no need to keep them. You are too talkative. Go to hell. In an instant, the burning heart-raging flame formation was activated again. 9 fire dragons transformed from the illusory spirit blood fire instantly rushed toward the hundreds of survivors in the formation. Suddenly, miserable screams rang out. On the other side of the formation, where the sword sect was, they all heard it. They were very frightened. Although they knew that they were stronger than the celestial emperor who had entered before, they still had a grudge against this kind of formation. Since you are so determined, let's die together. In the formation, the celestial emperor was not only congested with blood, but his whole body was also damaged. His clothes were also tattered by the formation. Do you want to blow yourself up? Lin Rei had already guessed his move, so he had prepared in advance. Let's see if you blow yourself up faster than my fire dragon soaring to the sky. As soon as he finished speaking, the celestial emperor felt that something was wrong, but he did not know what was wrong. Bang! Suddenly, a fire dragon with a bloody mouth rushed from under the Celestial Emperor's feet. Its bloody mouth instantly swallowed the Celestial Emperor, who thought too highly of himself. Ah! No! It shouldn't be like this. With the last sound, the Celestial Emperor died unwillingly in the burning heart-raging flame formation. As for the rest, Lin Rei did not have a chance at all. They were all left to the 9 fire dragons. Ah, ah, ah. Miserable screams rang out in an instant. After a few breaths, there was no more sound. Alas! It's over. The people who went in are probably dead now. The Formation Emperor, who had been observing the formation, was very nervous and frightened. At this time, this place had been listed as another forbidden area in the immortal realm. Chapter 351. In just a short while, the people who could form a first-rate sect in the immortal realm were completely annihilated by the formation in front of them. This was something that they had never thought of. However, it was the formation in front of them that killed everyone who entered it. Listen up, I am the sect leader of the 9 Heavens Xuanzong sect. I have been practicing in seclusion here. Today is just a small warning. If you break into the formation without permission, you will die here, regardless of whether you are an immortal emperor or not. Do you hear me? At this time, Lin Rei had already arrived in the formation. Although they were all dead, their storage rings and bags were still intact. As the saying goes, it is a bastard who does not take advantage of others. Moreover, these things had no owner now, so Lin Rei felt even less guilty. At the same time, Lin Rei also felt that outside the formation, there was a wave of cultivators whose cultivation was much higher than before. Although he didn't mind them coming in, when would there be an end to this wave of cultivators? Therefore, Lin Rei warned them, hoping that they would retreat on their own. Of course, if they stubbornly wanted to break into the formation, Lin Rei would not hesitate to be the devil and make them unable to return. Xuanzong sect? When did such a powerful sect appear in the immortal realm? When the people in the outside world heard Lin Li's words, they were all stunned. For top-notch sects like them, they were usually the most well-informed when it came to news. However, they had never heard of a sect like the mysterious sect. Moreover, a sect that could set up such a formation couldn't be unknown in the immortal realm. Therefore, everyone was very confused. Xuanzong sect? What kind of sect is that? I have never heard of it. Is it some mediocre sect? At this time, Hao Yu heard Lin Rei's words and immediately mocked him. His eyes were full of disdain and his expression was extremely ferocious. Hao Yu, shut up. Xiao Meiyu, who had wanted to stop Hao Yu, was too late. This time, she had come on the orders of Hao Yu's father to search for him. But now, this child was so troublesome. Fellow Daoist, I was being immature just now. I hope you don't take offense. Since trouble comes from careless talk, it shouldn't be too late to make up for it. But what she didn't know was that Hao Yu and Lin Rei had long since become enemies. Zongda is really a bully. Even if it was an unintentional mistake, I'll let this matter pass. If I hear him speak again, I'll kill all of you even if you're a celestial venerable, let alone a top sect. I'll let you know that the Xuanzong sect is not easy to bully. If you don't believe me, you can try. TSK, this person actually dares to say such words. This Karakoram Immortal Clan is an extremely powerful top-notch sect. Today, it's going to fall here. Hee, interesting. Xuanzong sect? Looks like I'll have to go back and look into it. At this moment, after hearing this mysterious person's words, everyone was murmuring and scheming in their hearts. As the saying goes, a tree wants to be quiet, but the wind won't stop. A child wants to be raised, but his parents are no longer around. A tall tree attracts the wind. Lin Rei's actions had already exposed the Xuanzong sect to everyone in the celestial world. Yes, thank you for your concern. We'll take our leave now. We won't come here to disturb you in the future. After saying that, Xiao Meiyu led Hao Yu and the disciples who came with her and hurriedly walked out. She didn't look back. Just you wait. Today, I, Xiao Meiyu, will definitely return everything to the Xuanzong sect in this life. Although her words were very good, her heart was another scene. After leaving the site of the array, Xiao Meiyu gnashed her teeth and said. Her face was very ferocious. When Hao Yu saw this, he couldn't help but take a step back. He didn't dare to look at her. Why, you're not leaving? Do you want to break into the array? The Kunlun sect had already left, but the remaining sects didn't seem to have the intention to leave at all. He then asked. No, it's like this. I wonder if you've seen my granddaughter, Zhu Chenxi? Yes, and my son, Jian Feng. He's been missing for more than 20 years. If you know, please tell me. At this time, the Array Emperor heard Lin Rei's words and hurriedly stood up to ask about his granddaughter, Zhu Chenxi. At this time, Jian Wudi also hurriedly stood up to ask about his son, Jian Feng. His face was full of eagerness. It was a pity that these two usually treated their family members so well. So you're the family members of Chenxi and Jian Feng. After listening to them, Lin Rei realized that they were looking for their family members. For a moment, Lin Rei forgave them. After all, his family members' lives were unknown. Even he believed that he would be like this. Don't worry, the two of them are fine. It's just that they're cultivating and it's not convenient for them to talk to you. But don't worry, when they come out of seclusion, I'll definitely tell them. Lin Rei's words confirmed that Startling Dawn was right. Now, they were relieved. Well, in that case, we'll take our leave first. In the future, we'll have to trouble you to take care of the two little guys. Before leaving, the two of them didn't forget to nag Lin Rei about how much they loved Jian Feng and Zhu Chenxi. After another two sects left, there were only two sects left that he knew. One was the Jingtian sect, and the other was the Wanbao sect. Looking at Startling Dawn and Wan Yunduo, Lin Rei couldn't help but say. The two of you should go back quickly. The evil blood qi here can only be beneficial to the two of you. When the sound transmission technique reached the ears of Startling Dawn and Wan Yunduo, Startling Dawn and Wan Yunduo couldn't help but nod their heads. Then, they cupped their hands in salute and left with their disciples. In an instant, the originally lively place became desolate. In particular, the blood river on the ground was so eye-catching that people couldn't help but shudder at the sight of it. Oh, finally. I should also go into seclusion. In the future, I'll have to learn more about formations. I didn't expect this formation to be as powerful as described in the book. It could even kill an expert at the Celestial Emperor realm. However, I'll have to be more careful in the future. After all, this Celestial Emperor was raised by elixirs. After saying that, he put the hundreds of storage rings in his hand into the system. Then, he walked into the cave and entered the blood pool to begin his cultivation. As the saying goes, there is no time in cultivation. Although one didn't know how long it was in the mountain, 100 years had passed in the outside world. 100 years ago, the news of Lin Rei killing the Celestial Emperor had spread throughout the immortal world. Although no one knew the name of the Xuanzong sect was in everyone's mind. In the past 100 years, Lin Rei's cultivation had also improved. Originally, he was at the Xian immortal realm. After 100 years of cultivation, he had reached the peak of the almighty immortal realm. He was only a step away from the immortal realm. In the past 100 years, the entire immortal world was in turmoil. 100 years ago, for some unknown reason, many sects suddenly appeared and developed rapidly. However, just when everyone thought that they were a threat, they suddenly disappeared overnight, as if they had evaporated into thin air. The most shocking thing was that the original 3 great firms had become the 4 great firms. In the past 100 years, the 4 great firms had become the 4 great firms. With their overwhelming resources, they had become the 4 great firms. They had branches in the east, west, north, south, and central regions. They had branches in almost the entire immortal world. They were called the 9 Heavens Firm, and this name was imprinted in the hearts of everyone in the immortal world. As the saying goes, a tall tree attracts the wind. The development of the 9 Heavens Firm made many people jealous. They all wanted to get a share of the profits. However, as the saying goes, money makes the devil push the millstone. Under the interest of money, the 9 Heavens Firm was like an iron wall. No one dared to provoke it. Chapter 352. All of this happened too suddenly. For the people of the immortal realm, 100 years passed in the blink of an eye. However, in such a short period of time, those forces rose up right under their noses. Their rise still attracted the attention of the major sects, empires, and celestial primes in the immortal realm. When they became famous, all those who speculated about them sent people to investigate. However, in the end, there was no news. Subsequently, such things happened several times. After that, they dismissed the idea of spying on them and began to pay attention to the cultivation of their own disciples. This was because they had a premonition that the immortal realm was about to be in chaos, and it was very likely that there would be a change of dynasty. This premonition made them vigilant. In the blood pool on the 3rd floor of the underground ruins in the capital city, the blood pool had dried up and there was no more blood. However, the person who was reprimanded was still sitting in it, covered in filth. Oh! I didn't expect that after meditating for 100 years, would break through to the peak of the late stage of the great immortal realm. I'm only one step away from the immortal realm. It seems that it's time to come out. The person who spoke was Lin Rei, who had been in seclusion for more than 100 years at the request of the little dragon. At this time, Lin Rei was covered in filth, and his appearance was almost unrecognizable. Phew! I don't know how those bastards are now. I hope they're all right. Thinking of this, Lin Rei was ready to stand up and move his legs. Many years had passed since he said that he would return. If he didn't go out, he didn't know what would happen to Lin Wanyu and the others. Crack, crack. As soon as he stood up, a cracking sound came from Lin Rei's body. At this time, Lin Rei seemed to feel his bones moving. At this time, the moment Lin Rei stood up, the filth on his body began to fall off, and his arm, which was as white as jade, was exposed. My God, whose arm is this? Why is it so white? It's like a woman's arm. The moment he lowered his head and saw his arm, Lin Rei was stunned. He looked at his arm in disbelief and muttered to himself. Slowly, bit by bit, the filth on his body fell off, layer by layer. By the time it completely fell off, Linley was on the verge of collapse. As the saying went, a man's skin was the best. But now, his skin was as white as jade, and his hair was a deep purple. What was even more unbearable for Linley was that after 100 years of closed-door training, his originally black eyes had now turned a faint red. F***ck, what have I experienced in the past 100 years? How did I become a complete gigolo? If I were to go out, wouldn't I be fought over to be kept by others? Although Lin Rei said that, he was still a little excited. After all, that hat didn't like handsome people. Hee, congratulations on breaking through to the peak of the late grand heavenly realm in 100 years. That's really worthy of celebration. However, you'll have to put in more effort for the next breakthrough. Sometimes, when you're about to break through to the immortal Emperor realm, you'll have to store a few of the 5 elemental spirits so that you can comprehend the Tao of Yin and Yang and break through to the immortal Emperor realm. Only then will you be considered a perfect immortal emperor. What, the 5 elemental spirits? Do I still need those things to break through to the immortal Emperor realm? The little dragon's voice suddenly appeared. However, what puzzled Lin Rei was that the little dragon said something about breaking through to the immortal Emperor realm. According to the method of breaking through to the immortal Emperor realm that Lin Rei knew, that wasn't what it said. According to historical records, the immortal Emperor realm was after the immortal Monarch realm. If one wanted to break through the law of perception, in addition to one's cultivation and realm, one could break through. However, the little dragon said that it was completely different. Humph, what do you know? As soon as Lin Rei finished speaking, the little dragon shouted with a face full of anger. Humph, you're talking about the cultivation of the immortal emperors in the immortal world. What I'm talking about is the immortal emperor realm in the Hongmeng era, before the heaven and earth were created. Of course, the realm back then is different from the one now. Lin Rei understood the little dragon's words. It was because the era was different. Okay, according to what I said, although the immortal emperors at this time are also immortal emperors, most of the immortal emperors are now Tendo's pawns. One is a puppet who is at the mercy of others and whose fate is in the hands of Tendo. 2 is also the realm of controlling one's own fate. After reaching the peak, even the great Tao has to stand aside. At this point, Lin Rei was stunned. His eyes were dull and his mouth was wide open. One could faintly see that saliva was flowing out of his mouth. Hee, what kind of realm is that? Lin Rei, who came back to his senses, laughed foolishly and began to imagine things at that time. Okay, hurry up. 100 years have passed. Many years have passed since the time you agreed to with the Xuanzong Sect disciples. Just in case, it's better to quickly come out of seclusion. Looking at Lin Rei's useless appearance, the little dragon wanted to hammer Lin Rei to wake him up. Oh, okay, I'll come out of seclusion immediately. As he spoke, Lin Li walked out of the pool of blood. But right at this moment, he suddenly sensed something. Lin Li came to a halt, a look of joy on his face. He couldn't contain his joy. I didn't expect that the opportunity to break through to the Celestial Duke realm would appear at this time. It seems that I can't leave for the time being. Just as Lin Rei stepped out of the blood pool, the opportunity to break through to the Celestial Duke realm came. It came without any warning, so Lin Rei was not prepared at all. However, cultivators valued opportunities the most. If he did not cherish this opportunity, he did not know how long he would have to wait for the next one. Then, Lin Rei retreated into the blood pool and sat down cross-legged. He began to circulate the chaos scripture and began to mobilize all the celestial spiritual chi in order to break through to the Celestial Duke realm. What's going on? I've been crazy for decades. Why hasn't Master come back yet? Could it be that Master has forgotten? At this time, Lin Wanyu and the others were sitting together in the Valley of Celestial, drinking tea and chatting. Suddenly, a voice rang out. Everyone looked over. Humph, don't complain. Maybe Master is not free now, or maybe Master is busy trying to break through. As disciples, Master's words are orders. We have to stop. Even if we have to wait for hundreds or thousands of years, we have to continue waiting. After hearing Lin Wanyu's words, everyone in the valley nodded in agreement. This group of people were the disciples of the Xuanzong sect that Lin Rei had sent out to complete the mission 100 years ago. At the moment of the 100-year promise, they obeyed Lin Rei's order and returned to the Valley of Celestial. Of course, everyone had returned except for Lin Rei. Waiting meant that they had waited for decades. The others were still fine, but among the 5 disciples, the most lively one, Karen, started to complain. Okay, Okay, everyone stop talking. Since Master asked us to wait here, it means that Master will definitely come back. Everyone, go and cultivate. I hope Master will feel proud when he comes back and sees us like this. Chapter 353. In the Valley of Immortals, there was no mutual deception or intrigue. There were no killings and robberies like in the immortal world. In the blood pool on the third level of capital ancient city, Lin Rei, who had advanced to the immortal monarch realm, was surrounded by dense immortal spiritual qi. There was a faint trace of red blood mixed in the immortal spiritual qi. Then, the immortal spiritual qi entered Lin Rei's body. Lin Rei, who was in the middle of cultivation, was unaware of this phenomenon. At this moment, Lin Rei was only thinking about making a breakthrough in his cultivation. Lin Rei had completely forgotten about everything else. Humph, little guy. Why don't I see you when I make a breakthrough? As he spoke, he gathered all of his immortal spiritual energy and instantly summoned a primordial ferocious beast that had just woken up from its deep slumber. Without being angry, it emitted a domineering aura and instantly charged towards the barrier that was just a step away from the door. Dong, dong, dong. Once, twice, thrice. 20 times. Just like this, the immortal spiritual qi hit the barrier again and again as if it did not know exhaustion. Time passed little by little. This action continued for a year. Crack, boom. In an instant, an earth-shattering pressure and the immortal spiritual qi's pressure rolled out in all directions. A formless energy rolled out directly. Puff. At this moment, the more than 50 people who had submitted to Lin Rei, Jian Feng, Zhu Chenxi, and the others, who had been in the middle of cultivation, spat out mouthfuls of blood the moment the pressure rolled over them. Their faces turned ghastly pale. There was no trace of blood on their faces, as if they were terminally ill. There was no sign of life at all. How can there be such a strong pressure? This is at least the immortal monarch realm. Jian Feng, who was lying on the ground with a weak aura, was puzzled after sensing this aura. Logically speaking, there should be a few immortal monarchs here. However, they had all broken through after all. Moreover, this aura was much stronger than that of the immortal monarchs. Jian Feng was sure about this. In the past 100 years, they would occasionally exchange cultivation martial skills with each other. Therefore, this strange aura obviously did not belong to them. Excluding them, there was only one other person here, and that was. Then, Jian Feng, who had thought of something, turned his head and looked into the cave. Instantly, his eyes widened and he looked very surprised. Could it really be? Jian Feng did not dare to believe it and did not want to believe it. 100 years ago, Lin Rei was only a Xian immortal. He could not believe that a Xian immortal could break through to the immortal monarch realm within 100 years. To people like them who lived in top sects, this was an insult. It was a slap in the face. Young immortal monarchs, Zhu Chenxi, and immortal monarch immortal, and immortal monarch immortal, within 100 years immortal monarch immortal. At this time, Zhu Chenxi, who was cultivating with Jian Feng, also sensed the aura from the cave. Her first reaction was the same as Jian Feng's, but she immediately calmed down and said with a calm attitude. His tone was filled with envy and reverence, but at the same time, it was filled with a firm conviction to surpass him. Yes. Young Master was truly unprecedented and would never be surpassed in the future. To be able to cultivate to such a level in just 100 years, I'm afraid we've followed the right person this time. For those 100 years of cultivation, following the young master is probably the best opportunity for the two of us. At this point, the two of them looked at each other and agreed. Then, they looked at the cave. It wasn't just the two of them. The more than 50 people who had submitted 100 years ago also had the same thought. However, they were still in shock and disbelief. To them, this was an unbelievable thing. They would probably remember what happened today forever. Ha ha ha. An unbridled laughter came out of the cave. Along with the immortal chi, it formed circles of energy and began to spread in all directions. Puff! The 50 disciples in the cave spat out another mouthful of blood. At this moment, they were even more dispirited. At this moment, Lin Rei, who had broken through in the cave, was awake. He was in the blood pool. His face was full of joy. The corners of his mouth were raised, and there was an evil smile on his face. It was frightening. Ha, ha, I've broken through. This time, it took me such a long time to break through. It seems that it will be more difficult for those who cultivate in the future. After this breakthrough, Lin Rei knew that if he wanted to break through again, he would have to go to a place where the immortal chi was as dense as a river. Or, he would have to find something that was sufficient for Lin Rei to break through again. Otherwise, he would have to wait 100 years before he could break through again. And this was just a preliminary estimate. Ha, ha, you've broken through to the immortal realm in a year. If those old things outside know about this, they will definitely want you. Perhaps, if they can't get you, they will kill you to prevent future troubles. At this moment, when Lin Rei was overflowing with happiness, these sudden words directly destroyed Lin Rei's good mood. Alas, forget it. I don't want to talk about you anymore. I knew you would do this. Lin Rei sighed. He knew that the little dragon would come out to mess things up. But he didn't have the chance to do so. He walked out directly. Phew. The moment he walked out, Lin Rei saw that everyone was lying on the ground and their auras were weak. Seeing this, he immediately knew what had happened. Oh, I'm sorry. I just broke through and didn't manage to control my aura and pressure. Here, take this elixir and eat it. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Lin Rei finished speaking and took out more than 50 healing elixirs from his storage ring. He wrapped them in spiritual energy and handed them to everyone lying on the ground for them to take. We thank you, young master. Without refusing, they took the elixir and ate it directly. Then, they sat cross-legged and began to recover. Now that you're awake, you should think about your future. Now, you have the ability to do whatever you want in the immortal realm. As long as the celestial prime doesn't appear, you can do whatever you want in the immortal realm. The direction of the sect, your future, how to improve your cultivation, and so on. Yes, I know. It's time to let the name of the ninth heaven Xuanzong sect shine in the immortal realm. At this time, the conversation between the little dragon, Lin Rei, and Lin Rei was naturally unknown to those who were recovering outside. However, Lin Rei didn't know that because of his decision, the immortal realm began to fall into chaos. The devil race attacked, and the original inhabitants of the immortal realm suffered an unprecedented disaster. Time passed little by little. More than 50 cultivators who had taken the elixir to recover had all returned to their original state. Everyone was full of energy and now they were in front of Lin Rei. Since you have all recovered, how about following me out of the ruins and sightseeing the great mountains and rivers of the immortal realm? Looking at the 50 disciples, each of them exuded a strong power of the law of the Supreme. Their foundation was solid, and each of them had made great progress. We are willing, we are willing. Chapter 354. Lin Rei led more than 50 people out of the third level, which had been in seclusion for 100 years. The third level's burning heart-raging flames array was also leaving. However, it had not been removed by Lin Rei. Instead, it was still there. Just leave it here. Who knows, it might be useful in the future. After leaving the third level, they arrived at the second level. Following that, they left the second level and arrived at the first level, where Lin Rei stopped. Chensi, there should still be a few thousand trapping arrays here. All the array cores inside are immortal artifacts. They can be used to raise the collective level of our sect. You know, I'm very poor. Lin Rei's words made the people behind him want to beat him up. Everyone was silently shouting the word, shameless, in their hearts. As the saying goes, don't say it out loud even if you want to. Oh, okay, young master. I'll do it now. When Zhu Chenxi heard Linli's instructions, she paused for a moment and looked stunned. Linli had already said so much. If he still didn't understand, then that person was either a fool or had something wrong with his brain. She immediately agreed and walked towards the trapping arrays in the Blood Spirit Heaven Sealing Array that had not been broken yet. However, to be honest, this was also Lin Rei's test for her. Before going into seclusion for 100 years, Lin Rei had given her an elixir that could raise the level of array formations. At this moment, Lin Rei was watching how much Zhu Chenxi had improved in the array formation Dao over the past 100 years. As Zhu Chenxi's figure approached, his eyes gradually lit up. He exclaimed, "Oh, not bad at all." After not seeing each other for 100 years, to be able to raise the level of array formation Dao to the same level as mine shows that she did not slack off in the past 100 years. Looking at Zhu Chenxi, who was making rapid breakthroughs, Lin Rei's face was filled with gratification. In his heart, he was also calculating that the position of overlord of the array formation department was basically set in stone for Zhu Chenxi. At this moment, Zhu Chenxi was basically a trapping array that could not trap her. She would break a trapping array every minute. At this moment, Lin Rei turned around and looked at the 50 people behind him. He smiled and said to them, "All of you, I will send you to a place in a while. Relax your bodies and don't struggle, understand?" "We understand." The 50-odd people who had consumed the mind-controlling elixir were very obedient as they agreed loudly. "All right." Following that, his divine consciousness enveloped everyone. Of course, other than Jian Feng and Zhu Chenxi, everyone else was included. With a shift of his mind, more than 50 people disappeared from where they stood. Lin Rei also followed into the Cosmos Bell. There was no chaos. Regardless of whether they had changed places or not, the 50 or so people stood quietly in their original places. Their gazes were still fixed on Lin Rei. "Listen up, all of you. Wait here for a while. After a while, I will release all of you into the army. However, before that, all of you will have to suffer for a while. Yes, we will follow young master's orders." After speaking, the disciples of the Xuanzong sect sat on the ground and closed their eyes to cultivate. When Lin Rei saw that they had entered a meditative state, he left the bell of heaven and earth and returned to Jianfeng's side. Ah! Jianfeng's expression was very funny. His mouth was wide open as he stared blankly at Lin Rei. He looked very surprised. Lin Rei did not know that the moment he disappeared with the crowd, Jian Feng had been scared silly. This had happened to Lin Rei. If it had happened to someone else, he would not have believed it even if he was beaten to death. Of course, when he saw Jian Feng's expression, Lin Rei knew why he was like this. He did not hide anything. Since he had joined the sect, Lin Rei would have absolute trust in him. As the saying goes, don't use people who you suspect. You're awake. Don't be surprised. When you arrive at the sect, you will see the true appearance of that thing. However, now is not the time. Those two things will be provided for your cultivation in the future. Linli's words caused the astonished Jian Feng to come back to his senses. With a look of worship in his eyes, he looked at Linli, as though he was certain Linli would win. "Young master, what was that thing? It seems very grateful that it can store people." Until now, I have only heard of one treasure in the immortal world, and that is the Cloud Pagoda of the Kunlun Immortal Sect. However, this thing was stolen from us at some point in time and we have not found it yet. Ah. It can't be, right? To be honest, while Jian Feng was surprised, Lin Rei was even more surprised. With just a few doubts, he was able to guess the Cloud Pagoda. Lin Rei was very impressed. Yes, you can understand it that way. However, we will have to wait until we arrive at the sect's encampment. Let's see how Chun Shi is doing first. With that, Lin Rei stopped changing the topic and focused all his attention on Chun Shi. At this time, perhaps because she had overexerted herself, Zhu Chenxi had already broken nearly 1,000 arrays. However, Zhu Chenxi was bent over and supported herself with both hands. She was panting and her face was very pale. Anyone who saw her would feel sorry for her. The moment Zhu Chenxi's condition appeared, Lin Rei immediately went forward to replace her so that she could recover her mental strength. As for Lin Rei himself, he quickly went forward and started breaking the arrays. His speed was several times faster than Zhu Chenxi's. When he reached an array, Lin Rei casually waved his hand and the array was easily broken. Then, his speed became faster and faster. Before he entered the array, an array was broken and the array core was suspended in the air. Jian Feng, come over and give me the immortal tools. Put all the immortal tools into the ring for me. With that, a ring appeared in his hand and he threw it at Jian Feng. Yes, young master. After agreeing, he took the ring and began to put away the immortal equipment that Linli had obtained from breaking the formation. Zhu Chenxi, who was behind him, sighed and lamented after seeing Linli's appearance and the way he had broken the formation. What a waste! Alas! Young master is indeed young master. The older the ginger, the spicier it is. It seems that I have to learn from him in the future. With that, Zhu Chenxi closed her eyes and began to cultivate to recover. Just like that, the three of them did their own things. Time passed little by little. After a few interviews, Linli finally stopped his work and muttered to himself with a smile on his face. Hee, I've finally broken it. This large array is completely abandoned. At this moment, the array space was empty. There was nothing, and there were no more arrays to be used. All the array cores were in the cyst. A satisfied smile appeared on Linli's face. When he thought about how all of his disciples were wielding immortal artifacts, he could not help but feel excited. Chapter 355. Let's go. It's time for us to leave. We've been here for 100 years. We might not be able to go out and have a look. At this time, the formation had been broken, the fairy artifact had been obtained, and Zhu Chenxi's energy had been restored. Everything had come to a successful end. I've gained quite a bit from this trip to the ruins. Thinking of this, Linli felt quite delighted. Of course, it's more of a gratitude to the little dragon. Without the little dragon, Lin Rei would not be where he is today. If it weren't for the little dragon, perhaps he would still be an ordinary office worker on planet Aqua Blue. All of this was thanks to the little dragon, who gave him everything that made him strong enough. Yes, it's time to leave. Hearing Lin Rei's words, Jian Feng and Zhu Chenxi smiled excitedly. Leaving this place was the only thing that made them happy in the past few years. If he had known that they were still young and in their prime, he would not have stayed here all day to cultivate. It would only be detrimental to their cultivation. Let's go then. After saying that, Lin Rei took the lead and led the two of them to the exit. At this time, Jingqing City was very prosperous. Of course, compared to 100 years ago, when the ruins appeared and people gathered in Jingqing City, it was not the same. At this time, people came and went on the streets of Jingqing City. All kinds of practitioners were buying things to enter the city. At the corner of the city tower, a vortex suddenly appeared without warning. Whoosh! Whoosh! Ha ha ha, I'm finally out. I, Lin Rei, am finally out. In an instant, 3 figures appeared in an instant and disappeared from the bustling entrance. They came to a sparsely populated alley and laughed heartily. His face was brimming with smiles, and he looked extremely handsome. Especially that jade-white skin of his. Even if he were a woman whose beauty could cause the downfall of nations, compared to Linley, that woman would probably feel so ashamed that she would bang her head against the wall and die. At this moment, Lin Rei's skin was so white that it defied the heavens. However, this was exactly what Lin Rei was worried about. Hee, yes, we are finally out. Young master, where are we going next? Should we leave Jingqing City? Let's practice in seclusion for 100 years. I believe that those with ulterior motives will not hesitate to wait for 100 years. Hee, you don't have to worry about who will come and destroy who. After 100 years of seclusion, why have you become so timid? After listening to Jian Feng's suggestion, Lin Rei did not accept it. This time, Lin Rei wanted to be high profile. The better, the better. This was because he wanted everyone to know his name, Lin Rei. Yes, young master. Listening to Lin Rei's words, Jian Feng fell in love with his mouth and didn't say another word. Zhu Chenxi, who was at the side, wanted to open her mouth a few times, but she swallowed her words back into her stomach. Let's go. If we don't come out for 100 years, let's go to the crystal clear water pavilion and ask around. Let's see if there are any interesting places in the immortal world in the past 100 years. Lin Rei had a good impression of the crystal clear water pavilion. After all, he had bought the Flaming Stream 10,000 Laws sword there. Therefore, the moment Lin Rei came out, he decided that he had to make a trip to the crystal clear water pavilion. Lin Rei's words were in order. After he finished speaking, Lin Rei started walking toward the crystal clear water pavilion according to the route in his memory. Along the way, the street vendors were shouting their wares. It was very lively. Lin Rei even stopped to take a look at them from time to time. In the end, while walking on the bustling street, Lin Rei arrived at the entrance of the crystal clear water pavilion. However, at this time, Lin Rei saw a strange name that made Lin Rei pleasantly surprised. 9 Heavens Trading Company. If he had known earlier what the name meant, it meant that his younger brother had succeeded in opening the 9 Heavens Trading Company within 100 years, and he had used the things he had given him to reopen the 9 Heavens Trading Company. After seeing this scene, Lin Rei's mood to return home became even stronger. At times, he missed his disciple, his brother, his child, and Ling, whom he hadn't seen for 100 years. At this time, all of these emotions welled up in his mind. Young master, young master. At this time, when he heard someone calling him, Lin Rei came back to his senses and hurriedly replied, What's the matter? Young master, isn't it a little inappropriate for us to stand at the entrance and not enter? After hearing this, Lin Rei quickly walked toward the interior of the crystal clear water pavilion. As soon as he entered the inner room, a familiar scene entered his eyes. At the same time, the figure of that woman appeared in Lin Rei's mind. Why did I think of her at this time? After shaking his head and sorting out his emotions, he went to his seat and sat down. At this time, a middle-aged shop assistant saw Lin Rei and quickly walked toward him. Then, he smiled and asked Lin Rei in a gentle tone. Young master, may I know what you are looking for? We have everything you need here. There's nothing you can't think of that we don't have here. These words were exactly the same as they had been 100 years ago. In an instant, Lin Rei was amused. Not bad, not bad. However, you didn't come here to buy anything. I came here to inquire about some things. If the information is true, then the 1,000 high-grade spirit stones will be yours. After saying that, 1,000 high-grade spirit stones appeared in front of the shop assistant the instant Lin Rei finished speaking. Hiss. Looking at the high-grade spirit stones in front of him, the shop assistant was very tempted. If he had known earlier, he wouldn't have earned more than 100 high-grade spirit stones a month even after working so hard. Alright, since young master has spoken, then ask away. As long as this little one knows, I will tell you everything. I won't dare to hide anything. In the end, the shop assistant was tempted by the 1,000 high-grade spirit stones that Lin Rei had placed in front of him. Then, let's talk about the Nine Heavens Trading Company. I remember that it didn't exist 100 years ago. Why did it appear only 100 years ago? Moreover, it doesn't seem to be one of the 3 great trading companies of the immortal world. After hearing this question, the shop assistant's expression changed and revealed an awkward expression. After struggling for a while, he revealed the truth. Sigh. Congratulations. Actually, we don't know what's going on with the Nine Heavens Trading Company. We only know that the strength behind it is very mysterious. Even our crystal-clear water pavilion hasn't been able to find out anything about it. We only know that the current manager of the Nine Heavens Trading Company is called Dong Xiaonan. However, he's just a manager. As for the strength behind him, we don't know. However, the Nine Heavens Trading Company is really surprising. In a short 100 years, it suddenly appeared in the immortal world and ended so quickly. Moreover, it's on the same level as our 3 great trading companies. This matter is really shocking. Lin Rei, who was listening attentively, laughed. He laughed very happily and even felt very carefree. At the same time, he felt proud of his younger brother. To be able to develop the Nine Heavens Trading Company so well in such a short period of time, Lin Rei didn't think that it would happen. However, he didn't expect that his younger brother would really do it. At this moment, Lin Rei didn't conceal the joy in his heart and directly revealed it on his face. When the shop assistant saw this scene, he instantly felt that the person in front of him might be a fool. Young master, young master. Lin Rei, who was in the midst of his joy, was suddenly startled by the call of the sword. He instantly realized that he had lost control of himself. Cough, cough. About that, I'm sorry. Then, he quickly controlled his emotions and continued asking, then, in the past 100 years, did anything strange happen in the immortal world? For example, a sect suddenly rose to prominence and went to the Nine Heavens Trading Company? Or something else? This question made the shop assistant feel strange. After all, the questions Lin Rei asked weren't secrets in the immortal world. However, when he saw that the young man before him didn't seem to be faking it, he told him about the strange things that had happened in the past 100 years. Sigh. To be honest, it's hard to say. There really are strange things. Moreover, the Nine Heavens Trading Company seems to be the same. The sects that awakened in one night were clearly very good in the past 100 years and were basically close to becoming first-grade sections. However, more than 20 years ago, they all suddenly disappeared overnight. No one knows where they went. No one knows where they went. In one night, more than a dozen sects all disappeared. Moreover, these sects seem to have risen in the past few years. No one knows what the strength behind them is. However, their sect leaders are very rich and very capable. They are very young, but their cultivation is very strong. After hearing the news about the power supply lamp, Lin Rei didn't say anything. At this time, Lin Rei was basically sure that the sects that disappeared overnight were all people that he had expelled. Thinking of this, Lin Rei laughed crazily. His heart was filled with ecstasy. At this moment, he was no longer in the mood to stay here. Whoosh! He suddenly stood up without any warning, scaring the people around him. Lin Rei's actions puzzled everyone, but Lin Rei was the only one who knew the real reason. "Well, I'm awake. If there's nothing else, please send my regards to the young miss of the crystal clear water pavilion." After saying this much, Lin Rei hurriedly walked out. At this moment, he couldn't wait to see his family and disciple whom he hadn't seen for many years. Although Jian Feng and Zhu Chenxi were puzzled by Lin Rei's actions, they still followed him the moment Lin Rei went out. The shop assistant didn't pay any attention to the three people who came and went in a hurry. In any case, he had already earned the spirit stones. As for the greeting, what a joke. How could he possibly meet the young miss of the crystal clear water pavilion? She was a big shot. At this time, after Lin Rei's group of three left the crystal clear water pavilion, they hurriedly left the ancient capital and started to look for the endless mountain range. They didn't stop to rest along the way and didn't dare to tarry as they flew towards the endless mountain range. The closer they got to the endless mountain range, the more Lin Rei felt like he was returning home. As for Jian Feng and Zhu Chenxi, they kept following behind him. Although they were puzzled, Tan Mo didn't like to inquire about things. Especially after following Lin Rei, this habit had become even more distant from their world. Chapter 356. Lin Rei, who had not stopped for a moment, finally arrived at the entrance of the Endless Mountains after a few days. It was the place where he had left 100 years ago. Looking at the place where he had left before, Lin Rei suddenly had a feeling of returning home. He was very excited and happy because he was about to see his family. "I'm back, I'm home." These words were enough to show just how much Lin Li loved this forest, and how much he longed for his home. Behind him, although Jian Feng and the other two knew that the Xuanzong sect was in the Endless Mountains, they could not help but be surprised when they saw it for themselves. "Okay, let's go." After saying that, Lin Rei jumped into the Endless Mountains, and Jian Feng and the other two followed closely behind. Along the way, nothing had changed. The trees were still tall and thick, and nothing had changed except for Lin Rei. He had become more handsome than before, and his cultivation had become more profound. According to his memory of 100 years ago, he walked on the original path when he had left 100 years ago. 100 years had passed, and no one knew whether new demonic beasts had entered this place or not. When he had left, all the demonic beasts within 1,000 miles had been exterminated. But 100 years had passed, and no one knew what would happen. Looking at the familiar path, Lin Rei could not help but think of the Tai ape that had followed him to the Endless Mountains 100 years ago. He did not know how it had been for 100 years, and whether it had become the king of this area. Perhaps Lin Rei's cultivation had forced the surrounding demonic beasts to retreat, or perhaps no demonic beasts had come here after he had killed them 100 years ago, and they had not found any demonic beasts along the way. Finally, Lin Rei's cultivation was quite strong, and he soon returned to the Valley of Immortals, the place where he and the Tai ape had found the sect. Looking at the entrance and the spell formation, a smile appeared on Lin Li's face, and his eyes began to moisten. "I'm back. Ao ao." Suddenly, a roar came from behind. The roar was loud enough to break the eardrums of a golden immortal. Dong dong dong. Along with his body and mind, there was also the sound of the earth shaking. At the first moment, Lin Rei turned around with a vigilant expression, preparing for battle. Lin Rei took out the martial Emperor Divine Spear, which he had never used before, and held it tightly in his hand. No one could guarantee that a demonic beast of the Immortal Emperor realm would suddenly appear in the Well-End Mountains. However, as the sound got closer and closer, Lin Rei's memories were drawn out by the roars. That familiar figure also appeared in Lin Rei's mind, becoming clearer and clearer. An incomparably tall Tai ape, a strange beast from the ancient times, a companion who cherished his heart and was willing to give up everything for him in order to find him a way to increase his cultivation had appeared. Ayo, ha ha ha, Lin Rei, you're back at noon. 100 years have passed, and more than 20 years have passed. I didn't expect that you, Lin Rei, would be late, ha ha ha. A voice that made fun of Lin Rei came. It was so loud that no one dared to hear it, but it was really nothing for Lin Rei. He had been used to it for nearly 100 years. That, old ape. It's not that I didn't keep the appointment. It's really because of the situation. I've been doing closed-door training in the ancient capital not far from here for the past 100 years. You can't blame me for this. As the saying goes, the sound arrives before the person arrives. The Thai ape was at the goal. Before anyone could see it, the sound arrived. After a while, the figure of the Thai ape appeared in front of everyone. However, at this time, Lin Rei had to look up at it. Its body was so big, it was 1,000 feet tall. Suddenly, Lin Rei was speechless. It could obviously be smaller, but it had to be so tall. Lin Rei was speechless. Humph, you have a glib tongue. I can't win against you. However, you've been back for a few days. These past few years, I've been very worried about you. I've been wondering why you didn't come back for 100 years. I've been very worried about you, but fortunately, you've come back today. If you didn't come back, I would have gone out to look for you. The Thai ape's words were like a warm current that entered Lin Rei's body and began to spread. At this moment, Lin Rei, whose eyes were originally moist, was even more at a loss for words. Old ape, it's not easy for me to come back. Can you not be so emotional? Also, your body is too big. Can you become smaller? I don't want to keep looking up at you like this. Okay. The two of them talked one after another, completely ignoring Jian Feng and Zhu Chenxi who were behind them. At this moment, Jian Feng and Zhu Chenxi were surprised to see their young master chatting so happily with a demon beast. Moreover, it seemed that their relationship was very good. This was the first time they had seen it. Because they had been taught since young that demon beasts could be killed, suppressed, and turned into anything you wanted. However, it was the first time they had seen Lin Rei. At this time, Tai Yuan was already the same size as Lin Rei. Compared to the burly and fierce Thai ape from before, he looked much cuter. Okay, let me introduce you. This is the disciple I just accepted. He's Jian Feng, the son of the Sword Sect's leader. She's the granddaughter of the Array Emperor, Zhu Chenxi. From now on, we'll be a family. Suddenly, Lin Li turned and began to introduce the disciple he had just accepted to Tai Ape. Tai Ape was no exception. He introduced himself as well. My name is Tai Ape. I am the king of the outer regions of the Endless Mountains. In the future, if you have any needs, come find me at any time. So long as I can do it, I will. A sentence that was more humane than a human's came out of Tai Ape's mouth. For a moment, the two of them began to accept the fact that Tai Ape was dead. Senior, you don't have to say that. Since you're young master's friend, then you're our friend. Please take care of us in the future. Looking at the way they greeted each other, Lin Rei rolled his eyes at them and ignored them. Instead, he walked towards the entrance of the Valley of Immortals alone. Step by step, his breathing slowly began to quicken. His face was full of nervousness. As for Jian Feng, Zhu Chenxi, and the Tai Ape, upon seeing Lin Li's actions, they followed as well. As for the Valley of Immortals, aside from Jian Feng and Zhu Chenxi, the Tai Ape would come here every so often. After all, this was his home. Rumble, rumble. Suddenly, the earth trembled and the mountains shook. There was a landslide. There was originally no road, only a wall. Suddenly, a door began to slowly open. This sound naturally alarmed the Xuanzong sect disciples who had already arrived and were cultivating inside. Huh! What's going on? Is Master back? At this moment, Lin Wanyu was the first to open her eyes after hearing the strange sound. Her body moved in an instant and she arrived at the door. She looked at the movement of the door. The others also woke up, as if they knew who had come in. They were very nervous. Rumble. Rumble. Finally, the door opened. Lin Rei's figure appeared in front of Lin Wanyu, who had been waiting outside for a long time. Lin Wanyu's figure also fell into Lin Wanyu's eyes. For a moment, the two of them inadvertently shed tears. Master is back. Chapter 357. Moss. Master. I missed you so much. In an instant, Lin Wanyu burst into tears. In an instant, Lin Wanyu threw herself into Linli's arms and began to cry. Her entire body was covered in tears. Linli could not bear to watch this scene. Lin Wanyu was his first disciple. At the same time, he viewed her as his own daughter. They had not seen each other for 100 years. At this moment, they met again. The lively little girl had now become a strong person who was over 100 years old. Lin Rei was very pleased with her. Just like that, Linli did not move. He just stood at the door and let Lin Wanyu hug him and cry for a long time. Finally, when she was tired from crying, she stopped. However, her body did not leave Linli's body. Instead, she continued to hug Linli's left arm, as though she did not want to let go for even a moment. Ah! How old are you? Why are you still like a child? You are so clingy to me. How can I bear to let you marry in the future? Ah! Master, how can you be like this? A girl's age cannot be revealed. Besides, in the immortal world, 100 years old is only a few years in the lower world. So, Master, I will still be the little Wanyu in your eyes. I will always be by your side to serve you and your mistress. When Lin Wanyu heard Linli's words, her entire body exploded. She hurriedly explained. As for Linli, when he heard his disciple's words, his face was filled with a blissful smile. Hee. Good. It is good that you are so careful. However, it seems that it is always me and your mistress who take care of you every time. Master, Lin Wanyu was about to explain but was stopped by Lin Rei. Okay, don't say any more. If you stop here, your junior brothers and sisters will not be willing. Hearing her master's words, Lin Wanyu raised her head and looked forward. She saw that at this time, Lin Rei and the other 3 junior brothers and sisters were looking at her cautiously and full of hidden bitterness. Immediately, Lin Wanyu quickly let go of Lin Rei and let her master out. My disciples, how are you? As soon as he finished speaking, his disciples swarmed forward and pounced on Lin Rei. They began to act intimately, just like a group of children who hadn't seen their father for a long time. This scene made the people behind feel very harmonious. Master, we miss you so much. You're finally back. These people were like Wanyu. They had been by Lin Rei's side for a long time, but they took the initiative to escort Lin Rei. They arrived behind Lin Rei and stood respectfully, not daring to show any disrespect. Alright, let's go and see your results. After reuniting with his disciples, Lin Rei led everyone towards the plaza in the middle of the valley. On the way, there were many times more people than when Linli had left 100 years ago. They appeared in front of Linli, and as Linli passed by, they couldn't help but open a path for him. After a while, there were only 6 people: Jian Feng, Zhu Chenxi, and Tai Yuan, but now Lin Rei's 3 brothers on planet Aqua Blue, Lin Tian, and the others all followed behind Lin Rei. On the way, Lin Li couldn't help but sigh in amazement. Along the way, Lin Rei's divine sense swept over all the disciples. Everyone was at least at the celestial immortal stage and above. There were no earth immortals, but there were many immortal dukes, almighty immortals, and countless gold immortals. Seeing such a prosperous scene, Lin Rei was excited. Oh, I didn't expect that after 100 years, this group of kids would grow to this extent. It seems that it's time for the Xuanzong sect to appear. Soon, Lin Rei arrived at the plaza. The disciples also surrounded Lin Rei's plaza. Now, they were looking at Lin Rei respectfully. There was no noise at all. This scene made Lin Rei even happier. Well, I've checked everyone's cultivation. I'm very happy. This time, you didn't let me down. I hope you can keep up the good work next time. Yes, we will do our best to contribute to the sect. A voice that shook the sky spread in all directions. Suddenly, the demonic beasts near the endless mountain range began to flee in all directions. Good, it's good that you're in such a good mood. This time, I want to reorganize the distribution of the sect. The previous distribution was too messy. After saying that, the disciples below didn't say anything. Lin Wanyu and the others behind nodded in agreement. The 9 Heavens Xuanzong sect was divided into 1 sect, 6 elders, 12 protectors, 11 divisions, 2 gates, and 2 pavilions. They were the Dark Department, the Information Department, the Alchemy Department, the Formation Department, the Refining Department, the Talisman Department, the Assassination Department, the Combat Department, the Training Department, the Law Enforcement Department, the Beast Department, the Inner Sect, the Outer Sect, the Scripture Pavilion, the Weapon Pavilion, the Mission Department, and so on. The divisions that you heard, I will be the Pavilion Master and Pavilion Master. If you want to go to any of them, you can go. Do you understand? Lin Rei's division shocked everyone. How was this a sect? This was simply a combination of many sects. For example, the Alchemy Department, the Weapon Refining Department, and the Formation Department could basically form an independent sect. But now, it was just a division in the sect. In particular, Jian Feng and Zhu Chenxi, who had always lived in the sect, were even more surprised. The moment they entered this place, they were shocked. Not only were there tens of thousands of disciples, but each of them was very powerful. If their own sect was compared with such a sect, could they win? Perhaps this was a question in their hearts. Yes, Sect Master. We understand. Well, good. Now I'll choose the Division Master and the Pavilion Master. Listen, am I right? In order to be fair, he didn't want his disciples to say that he was playing favoritism. Therefore, he told them all the information that could be qualified for one person and let them judge. Zhu Chenxi, Cultivation of Almighty Immortal, King-level Array Master. Can she be the Division Master of the Formation Department? When he said this, Zhu Chenxi, who was behind Lin Rei, was surprised. She didn't expect Lin Rei to choose her like this. Yes, we admit our inferiority. She can be elected. After hearing the words of all the disciples, Zhu Chenxi didn't hesitate. She directly went to Lin Rei, knelt on the ground and said, I, Zhu Chenxi, am willing to be the Division Master of the Formation Department. From now on, I will do my best for the sect and work hard for the future development of the sect. Ha ha ha, good. Stand up, Division Master Chenxi. After saying this, Zhu Chenxi stood up and went to a side where there was no one. Black Shadow, Cultivation of Almighty Immortal, the original leader of the Dark Department. Now, I'll be the Division Master of the Dark Department. Do you have any objections? As he said this, Black Shadow hurried forward and stood in front of Lin Rei. He said excitedly, Thank you, Sect Master, for your nurturing. I will do my best for the sect in the future. Before the disciples could say anything, Black Shadow took the order first. This made Lin Rei speechless. Well, in the future, if you don't have any objections, you don't have to say anything. If the refining department and the talisman department are vacant, the beast department will be taken over by Tai Yuan. Tai Yuan is a golden immortal, and his physical body is comparable to a peak almighty immortal. Assassination department, Tian Yun and he will take over. Both of them are at the peak almighty immortal realm. Combat department, Bai Qi and Dian Wei will take over. Both of them are at the almighty immortal realm. Law enforcement department, Jian Feng will take over. He is at the peak almighty immortal realm and cultivates the great way of the sword. Treasure pavilion, Lin Tian will take over. He is at the almighty immortal realm and cultivates the great way of the sword. Weapon pavilion, I will guard it. If you need it, you can come to me. If the conditions permit, you can take it. Mission department, Ming will take over. He is at the peak almighty immortal realm. Alchemy department, I will still take over. The previous division master will be the deputy division master of the alchemy department. In the future, the deputy division master will still be in charge of the alchemy department. I will only refine the alchemy department for you. Information department, Bing will take over. He is at the peak almighty immortal realm. He will take over the information department. As for the elder department, the male disciple will take over the position. He has contributed greatly to the Nine Heavens Trading Company. He is qualified to take over the position of Grand Elder. As for the other 5 elder positions and the 12 protectors, after my death, the sect will be settled down. I will have to observe you for a period of time. I hope you will continue to work hard. As for the outer and inner sect, when I meet capable people in the future, I will make them the sect leaders of the outer and inner sects. Then, from now on, you can go wherever you want to go. However, you have to do what you can. See clearly what your nature is and what you are suitable for. Think carefully before you join the various departments. With one sentence, everyone was convinced. They were all convinced by Lin Rei's distribution. Yes, we will remember the sect leader's decree. As he spoke, the tens of thousands of disciples began to make their choices. This time, they made their choices according to their own attributes, and decided whether or not they were suited for a particular department. This was unlike before, when Linley's words had instantly caused a stir. Looking at the busy disciples, Lin Rei felt satisfied. At this time, Dong Xiaonan walked up and said to Lin Rei, "Actually, you don't have to do this. It is my honor to contribute to the sect. Besides, you are the one who asked me to do this. Without you, I wouldn't be here today. So, you don't have to give me the position that I want," he said gratefully. However, Lin Rei couldn't listen to him anymore. He quickly said, "Nonsense. Young brother, you have to remember that everything you have now was fought for by yourself. It was all based on your hard work. So, don't say such things in the future. The sect and the business are inseparable. Don't say such things in the future. If you say it again, I will be estranged from Lin Rei, understand?" Seeing that Lin Rei was getting more and more agitated, the young brother smiled and quickly agreed, "Okay, okay, okay. Don't be so agitated. I understand." Just like that, the two of them stood side by side and watched the busy disciples. After a while, after the selection, they were assigned to their respective departments. As for the weapon refining department and the talisman department, Lin Rei had already thought about it. He would find a time to learn both departments together. At least, as the sect leader, he had to be all round. Only then could he lead the sect. Chapter 358. Seeing that he had already found the department he belonged to, Linley spoke with a dignified look on his face. Everyone, remember your current department. You are not allowed to change it in the future. This is especially true for assassination and combat. As long as you are in the dark department, you are not allowed to leave. If there is a precedent, you will be killed without mercy. Boom! Suddenly, a terrifying murderous aura pervaded the atmosphere. They were shocked, but then they felt relieved. After all, the one who released the murderous aura was their patriarch, their sect master, their sect master, their sect master. At this moment, Linley's killing intent was simply unprecedentedly powerful. In their memories, there was nothing like it. However, what they didn't know was that a large part of the reason why Linley's killing intent was so powerful was because he had absorbed the fiend god blood essence in the blood pool. Remember my words. If you violate them, you will be killed without mercy. Yes, we understand. We will follow Sect Master's orders. After hearing the warning, the Xuanzong Sect disciples felt a chill run down their spines. They didn't say anything and just stood there quietly, respectfully looking at Lin Rei's location. Whoosh! Whoosh! Two air-piercing sounds were heard. In an instant, a 9-storied white jade pagoda and a huge yellow bell appeared in the originally empty square, and sat on the square. An ancient and noble feeling that it was indestructible instantly pounced on everyone. Of course, the original 30,000 disciples of the mysterious sect were not unfamiliar with this name. However, those who had just joined naturally did not know what this item was or what use it had. Since all of you have lost your memories, then go back. Jian Feng, Zhu Chenxi, Lin Wanyu, Lin Tian, Nan, and the others, stay here. Everyone else, disperse. Yes, we will take our leave. Tens of thousands of disciples left in 2 directions. The Cloud Pagoda and the Heaven and Earth Bell didn't stop them. After all, they had Lin Rei's permission. Not long after, the originally crowded plaza became very quiet. Only the 5 disciples and a few important members of the upper echelon were left there, accompanying Linley. Why does this thing look so familiar? I think I've seen it in the Sect Scripture Pavilion. The moment the Cloud Pagoda appeared, Jian Feng felt puzzled. At the same time, he felt a sense of déjà vu towards this jade pagoda. I remember now. This seems to be the Kunlun Immortal Clan's Cloud Pagoda. Why are you here? Finally, Jian Feng thought of the name of the pagoda and was shocked. He was very familiar with the Cloud Pagoda. The Cloud Pagoda used to belong to the Kunlun Immortal Clan, but it was stolen by someone. Ji Lin hadn't taken it back yet, but he never would have thought that it would end up in the hands of Lin Rei, his sect master. As for the huge bell beside it, he didn't care about it at all. However, based on the information emitted by the huge bell, he felt that this huge bell definitely wasn't inferior to the Cloud Tower. In fact, it might even be superior. Alright, you two came down. I want to ask you where the new god of the sect is. I think you two should be more familiar with the immortal world than me. At this time, all the disciples had returned to the Cloud Pagoda and the Cosmos Bell. Lin Rei asked Jian Feng and Zhu Chenxi. After all, the 2 of them lived in the immortal world and were much better than him, a dabbler. Oh? Don't tell me you don't want to place the new god of the sect here? The immortal spiritual energy here is very rich. It's a very good place. Moreover, there are ferocious beasts from the endless mountain range helping you to protect the sect. Why do you want a new place? At this time, everyone was puzzled. They all felt that this place was very good. It should be the safest place for the sect to be. Yes, this place is very good. However, have you ever thought that the most important thing for a sect is competition? Yes, there are ferocious beasts guarding this place, but they don't feel any pressure. How can they grow? In the end, they will only become hothouse talkers and be trampled on by others. Moreover, the sect is bound to increase the number of people in the future. Although this place is very good, it is too small. I want to find a large place with spirit veins. If there is no sect, then that would be even better. If there is no other choice, then we can only destroy the sect and seize the god. After hearing Lin Rui's last sentence, everyone was stunned. Lin Wanyu and Lin Tian were fine. After all, they had followed Lin Rui all the way here. Therefore, they didn't feel anything special about Lin Rui's actions. However, they didn't know about the people who joined later. Think about it, is there a place like this? Whether it is the east, west, north, south, or center, any place is fine. As long as the place is good, I don't care about anything else. Jian Feng regained his composure and listened to Lin Rui's request. Suddenly, a light flashed in his mind. A place that met all of Lin Rui's requirements appeared in his mind. However, after thinking about it, an awkward expression appeared on his face. And this scene fell into Lin Rui's eyes. Jian Feng, say what you want to say. No matter what place it is, since you found it, then say it. Lin Rui's words caused everyone's gaze to shift to Jian Feng's body. They wanted to hear what he was about to say. At this moment, Jian Feng didn't hide anything and spoke about the place in his mind. Yes, I found it. However, that place is very punctual. Many people don't come back after going there. Even the first-rate sects would fight to be the first to take that place for their own use. Okay, don't talk nonsense. Tell me the place directly. You are so anxious that you are acting like a woman, so dilly-dallying. At this moment, Lin Rui's words were exactly what everyone wanted to say in their hearts. They all pricked up their ears and listened quietly. Okay. That place is the most famous mountain range in the central area of the East. It is called Heaven Dome Mountain and is a dangerous place. Although there aren't many demonic beasts there, the spirit veins there are very rich and the products are abundant. When did a few large sects fight for a place? In the end, both sides suffered great losses. However, they were scared off by the strangeness of Heaven Dome Mountain in the end. It is very mysterious inside. After that, many similar incidents occurred, but they were all destroyed in the end. Since then, that place has become a forbidden area, and no one from our clan has set foot in it. After finishing this sentence, Zhu Chenxi, who was at the side, understood. She had also heard a little about Heaven Dome Mountain, but it was roughly the same as what Jian Feng said. However, there was one piece of information that Jian Feng didn't say. Yes, I also know about that place. However, my grandfather has also been there before. I heard from him that that place is a natural formation. Its power is not to be underestimated. Even my grandfather can't underestimate it. At this moment, the name, Heaven Dome Mountain, was imprinted in their hearts and couldn't be erased. Chapter 359. Sigh, forget it, I'll go and take a look. I'll search as I go. If I can't find anything, I'll go to Sky Dome to take a look. Lin Rui had already made up his mind to find a new god. He had already decided that he had to learn how to refine tools. The principles of refining tools and refining pills were the same. As the saying goes, if one spiritual power was king level, then refining tools would be twice the result with half the effort. However, the current plan was to leave this place as soon as possible. Only then could they talk about the future. Sect Master, what should we do next? Just as Lin Rui was thinking about what to do next, Jian Feng asked. His eyes were filled with expectation. Let's take a look first. Sky Dome is in the east, so let's go there first. To be honest, I've been in the immortal world for more than 100 years, but I still don't know what the immortal world is like. After 100 years of seclusion, it's time to go out and gain experience. Hearing Lin Rei's words, everyone nodded. However, they were still afraid of Sky Dome. Especially Jian Feng and Zhu Chenxi, who lived in the immortal world, their eyes were filled with worry. Linley's character of leaving as soon as he said so. Linley, who had made up his mind, waved his hand, and the two treasures on the square, the clock and the tower, were instantly sucked into the system. Let's go, we should leave this place. We should go out and see the laws of the Great Thousand Worlds, the beautiful scenery, and the mountains and rivers of the Great Thousand Worlds. We should take this opportunity to relax. After saying that, Lin Rei no longer paid attention to them. There were still two formations in the Valley of Immortals, protecting this place. Who knows, maybe they could return here in the future. This time, Lin Rei didn't set off alone. Instead, he left with a group of people. This time, Tai Yuan also followed. Lin Rei had fulfilled his promise to Tai Yuan 100 years ago. Before leaving, Lin Rei summoned the flood dragons he had subdued on planet Aqua Blue from the Cloud Pagoda. Everyone rode on a flood dragon and left the Skyend mountain range, heading east. Their speed wasn't very fast, but Lin Rei's words had all come true. Along the way, they were sightseeing. When they came across spirit roots and heavenly treasures, they kept them in their pockets. As the saying goes, no one would complain about having too many things. Along the way, no one deliberately stopped to cultivate. Instead, they allowed themselves to grow. At the same time, their realms were unknowingly rising along with their state of mind. It had already been a year since Linley had led them out of the Skyend Mountains. Along the way, they would stop every now and then. Whenever they came across a place with particularly good scenery, they would stop and admire it. Linley, in particular, would stop for a few more days when he came across a place that was filled with the aroma of wine. Only after drinking enough would they continue on their journey. Along the way to the east, as the saying goes, you don't mind trouble, but trouble will always follow you, like maggots in your bones, and you can't get rid of it. In the central area of the east, in a city called Yenkue City, Lin Rei and the others had just entered the city when they were stopped by the son of the city lord of Yenkue City. He deliberately made things difficult for them. Bing happened to be by Lin Rei's side, so things happened because of Bing's beauty. Humph, boy, if you know what's good for you, quickly give me the woman beside you. Otherwise, I won't let you walk out of Yenkue City today. At this time, the person who was making threatening gestures was Yen Bei, the son of the city lord of Yenkue City, Yen Shan. This boy was arrogant and extremely lecherous, but when he saw a beautiful girl, he would go forward to adjust his breath. As soon as he left the city lord's mansion, he met Lin Rei and the others from Yenkue City. After calling Bing, he was stunned and insisted on bringing Bing back to be his wife. How could Lin Rei tolerate such a thing? Oh, the city lord's mansion, why are there so many people who are courting death even though you don't want to kill people? To his women, they were his reverse scale. As long as they were wronged a little, then that person was already on Lin Rei's list of people to kill. If God blocked him, he would kill God. If Buddha blocked him, he would kill Buddha. No matter who it was, they would die. Hearing the person who called himself the young city lord of the city lord's mansion, Lin Rei looked at Yen Bei as if he was looking at a dead person. Humph, boasting shamelessly. Since you want to cause trouble in Yenkue City, come on. Kill them for me, don't leave a single one alive. Oh, right, don't kill those 3 girls. I'm still waiting to go back and interrogate them tonight. Yen Bei, who had an evil smile on his face, emphasized the word interrogate at the end. At this moment, the lust in his eyes became even stronger. Is that so? If that's the case, then don't blame me for being impolite. With a bang, the martial Emperor Divine Spear instantly appeared in his hand. He gripped it tightly in his palm and his evil aura instantly increased. His slightly red eyes began to glow with a dazzling red color at this moment. It was very demonic and evil. Anyone who looked at it could not help but break out in a cold sweat. Today, don't let a single person from the City Lord's mansion leave. No matter who they are, don't leave a single one of them alive. Exterminate their entire family. Lin Rei's order was given. As disciples of the Xuanzong sect, they naturally had to obey. In an instant, more than a dozen people were like wild horses that had broken free of their reins. Each of them took out the weapons in their hands and rushed into the City Lord's mansion. It happened in an instant. At this moment, more than a dozen people took action. Those who had been clamoring before, except for Yan Bei, were all killed in an instant. Their lives were gone in an instant. Yan Bei gradually shouted in horror. At this time, Yan Bei's eyes were filled with fear. His legs were weak and the middle of his legs was soaked. Occasionally, there was a disgusting stench that could be smelled. I didn't expect the son of the City Lord to be so soft. We haven't even found him yet. How could he be like this? Looking at Yan Bei, all the disciples of the Xuanzong sect laughed at this moment. As for Bing and the other women, when they saw the filthy thing at Yan Bei's feet, they quickly turned around and were shy. Okay, stop fooling around. Let's get this done quickly. Let's find a better restaurant and stay for the night. While we're at it, let's see if there's anything fun in Yankuei City. These few words were said lightly, as if they were about to kill someone inhuman. Especially Yan Bei, who was caught by Lin Rei. After hearing these few words, he felt terrible. Trembling all over, he begged Lin Rei for mercy. Grandpa, please let me go. Previously, I had eyes but failed to recognize Mount Tai. You can just treat me as a fart. The moment Yan Bei spoke, all the people of the Xuanzong sect behind him entered the City Lord's mansion. In an instant, screams came from the City Lord's mansion. The screams made one's scalp tingle. When the passers-by heard the screams from the City Lord's mansion, they did not go forward to help. Instead, they stood where they were and applauded. Humph, you dare to touch my son. Die. A roar of anger, accompanied by a terrifying pressure, instantly swept out from the City Lord's mansion. Fortunately, Lin Rei's cultivation had already advanced to the immortal monarch realm. The moment the pressure touched Lin Rei's body, it dissipated, as if that thing had never appeared. However, Yan Bei, who was caught by Lin Rei, did not have such a good fate. The moment the pressure came, the 5 internal organs of this ignorant and incompetent playboy were shattered. In the end, he died at the hands of his own father. Humph, you dare to insult the disciples of the Xuanzong sect. That's courting death. The sect master has ordered everyone in the City Lord's mansion to die. No one will be left alive. Several people ganged up on a City Lord, and he was only at the Daluo realm. Among the people who surrounded Yenshan, Bing was at the peak of the immortal monarch realm. Obviously, there was no comparison at all. After a while, there was no more sound coming from the City Lord's mansion. It was a pity that everyone had died. From the beginning to the end, it took less than 2 minutes for everyone in the City Lord's mansion to be wiped out. The first battle of the Xuanzong sect in the world took place in Yankuei City in the east. Because of this, the Xuanzong sect's reputation grew. You're tuning into the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.